far down on that list. But tonight, the Razorbacks and Rebels will be doing just that. The Las Vegas Bowl, no other place they'd rather be. From Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada, it's Arkansas out of the SEC, UNLV out of the Mountain West in the 9th annual Las Vegas Bowl. Hi, everybody, and good evening. Alongside Todd Christensen, I'm Steve Levy. Thoughts from Heather Cox in just a little bit. Both of these schools at one point were 4-5. They're playing their best football down the stretch to get here. UNLV only their third bowl all time, but they do have a bowl-savvy coach in John Robinson, 7-1 as head coach of a bowl team.
And I think a lot of people are aware of John Robinson, the coach at USC, and then, of course, later the great coach for the Los Angeles Rams. But something they're probably not aware of is that John Robinson, who in a mere 2 seasons has taken a team that was 0-11 and now 7-5 in a bowl game. A large reason for that, of course, is the tremendous quarterback that he has at his disposal in Jason Thomas. You can see the terrific numbers that he has put up. He's going to be a treat to watch this evening. I think he's a West Coast, even larger version of Michael Vick.
We shall see. As for Arkansas, this will be their 31st all-time bowl game. But Houston Nutt, their head coach, is only the third in Razorback history to lead the team to a bowl game in his first 3 seasons.
And here in the third season, Steve, you mentioned the 4-5 record. He conceded us the idea that it was not, the honeymoon was indeed over. But the reason for him getting to that third bowl game is because of the great wide receiver that they have. Their bruiser, 6'4", 235-pound Boo Williams. His numbers would have been even gaudier than that had he not been thrown to by 4 different quarterbacks.
Arkansas looking to win consecutive bowl games and consecutive seasons for the first time since 77-78. We are just about set to go from Las Vegas. We'll have the opening kickoff on the way. The Las Vegas Bowl on ESPN2 is coming up next.
The exclusive presentation of the 2000 Las Vegas Bowl is presented by the MGM Grand. Proud to be an official host hotel for Las Vegas Bowl 9. And in part by Best Buy. When you're looking for more fun in your life, turn on the fun with the latest in digital technology at Best Buy.
And the Arkansas Razorbacks just about set to take the field here for the Las Vegas Bowl, and here they come. Back on November 11th, they lost at Tennessee, blown out 63-20. Their worst loss in some 80 years. At that point, they certainly didn't look much like a bowl team.
Staring 4-5 right in the face and possibly 4-7. Getting ready to face a tough Mississippi State team, an LSU team that's ranked. We could have very easily let go of the rope. Our kids could have very easily quit. Been the easiest thing to do, but they did. And that's what I love about our team. We showed great heart for being as young as we are. We really actually have 5 seniors that truly play. And to be able to have that much character to overcome adversity, to me, that's what it's all about.
And UNLV, they are the home team, as you would expect. They will have the home crowd advantage. Perfect Sam Boyd Stadium this season. They had to be perfect down the stretch, for sure, winning their last 3 games, including 2 on the road. We're trying to make some change here in Sin City.
Well, I think it's come from the stigma of being a loser to winners. You know, they're winners in their own mind, and I think our city has adopted them as that, you know. We might have been orphans, you know, out on the street, but we found a home. And I think in a personal sense, each player has a belief in himself now. I think as a coach, that's maybe the most important thing you can leave with a player, or they can learn while they're doing it, is to have a sense that I'm okay, I'm a winner, and our kids feel that.
John Robinson's okay. He's a winner. He's won 4 more games in his first 2 seasons here at UNLV than they did in the previous 4 seasons combined. Pleased to be joined on the sideline tonight by Heather Cox.
Thanks, Steve. Now, a lot of people wondered why a legendary coach like John Robinson would return to the college game at the age of 65. But before he took the UNLV job, he spent about a year trying to decide his next steps. In fact, he thought he might want a front office job with the NFL. So he spent 4 days in Washington with his good friend Norv Turner. He said on day 1, He was in the background, not at all involved, but by day 4, he said he was telling Norv how to coach. So on the plane ride home, he decided coaching was where he wanted to be. But he was a little bit worried. He said the problem is the longer you've been a coach, the more it's like being a CEO, problem solving and budget issues rather than getting to coach. So when he took the job, he sat down and made a list of those things that are fun with coaching. Things like recruiting, X's and O's, mentoring the players, and play calling. And he said, those are the things that I am going to do. And with that philosophy, he said, I'm more personally involved with this team than any team for as long as I can remember. And in 2 years, what a turnaround he's made. And he's really instilled a football spirit in a city that had never before had it. Back to you guys.
65-year-old John Robinson. So how did UNLV get here? Besides the fact they live and play here all season. Again, they had to win their last 3 games because their schedule needed 7 wins to become bowl eligible. They did it in style. Starting on November 11th, a Jason Thomas to Nate Turner touchdown pass with 18 seconds left. That beat New Mexico. Next game at San Diego State, Amar Briscoe returned an interception, 72 yards for a score in the final minute to break a tie, giving UNLV the win. And then needing just one more win at Hawaii, the defense rallying, stopping a game-tying 2-point conversion attempt in the final 2 minutes from 4-5 to 7-5, as they say here in Las Vegas, the hard way. UNLV has won the toss and deferred. Arkansas will receive. Ray Chitani is set to kick it away. Richard Smith and Gerald Howard are deep for Arkansas, and we are underway, and it's a bouncing squib kick to start the 9th annual Las Vegas Bowl, and it's Rod Stinson recovering it, and that's where the Razorbacks will take over, led by Robby Hampton. You heard about all the injuries. Hampton suffering thumb and shoulder injuries. The shoulder could still be a problem. We'll watch for that tonight. The guys, Todd, will try to put the football in the hands of.
Well, the one that they want to get the ball to, obviously, is Boo Williams, their stud bolt on the outside. I'm anxious to watch him myself, Steve. 6'4", 235 pounds. That is huge for a wide receiver.
The Razorbacks open up with fine field position. They'll open 1st and 10 from their own 31-yard line. Robby Hampton with Brandon Holmes, the lone setback behind him. And Holmes will be your ball carrier on 1st down. 2nd and 3rd effort, pushing it out to the 33. Randy Black among the UNLV players to make the stop. The Arkansas offensive line, White, Melton, and Sandlin all in the middle. Those 3 have started every single game this season.
Take a look for number 47, Anton Palapoy. He is the man who generates their pass rush. 12 tackles for loss and 8 sacks. Junior college transfer from right up the road in St. George, Utah. That is Dixie College.
They give him a pickup of 4 on the play, bringing up a 2nd down and 6. And the first pass attempt of the afternoon is complete, and it's a good gain to Boo Williams, the receiver. 15 yards, a 1st down and more, as Hampton connects on his first attempt. The UNLV linebackers, Ryan Claridge, took over in the middle in the 5th game after James Sania, one of their top leaders on defense, was banged up with one of those season-ending injuries.
Well, Sam Brandon is their leading tackle of the season. Randy Black, the man who is their all-time leading tackle, but Kevin Thomas is the guy that's going to have a lot of pressure on him. He is going to be on Boo Williams most of the day.
Just to the left of that Las Vegas Bowl symbol at midfield, they send the man in motion. That's Richard Smith. And they keep it on the ground to Brandon Holmes across midfield. And he is banged down at the 43. Amar Briscoe and Sam Brandon making the tackle.
Here's the big concern, of course, for UNLV, and that's how their front 7 is going to stack up against Arkansas. You can see initially he gets stopped. That is Holmes. But then he's able to push forward because the line push is so powerful up front. Get a chance to watch number 7. Watch right here. Runs into the back of his guard. But now by sheer power, he's able to run over a couple of people, get that additional yardage. The front 7 and the secondary, that matter, for UNLV is going to have to jam up in the box to stop the run.
Brings up a 2nd and 4. They go out of the I formation now. Here's Robby Hampton off play action, feels the pressure and gets it away. And it's complete for another first down. That time it's Sparky Hamilton, the sophomore from Lufkin, Texas, making the play. Marv Briscoe brought him down, but not before he made it past the marker.
Steve, this is interesting. It's not simply a matter of just doing something different in terms of throwing. They want to get Hampton some confidence. Very easy throws now. 2 hitches in a row. He's 2 for 2, gets the ball outside. Tough to bring down. This keeps them back on their heels. This forces UNLV to not be able to put the 8 and 9 in the box that they want to.
Robby Hampton is a 24-year-old quarterback. Takes the traditional jabs from his teammates, who nicknamed him Pops, as you might expect. He'll put it on the ground of Brandon Holmes. Nothing doing there. The UNLV defense not fooled at all, led by Ryan Claridge in the middle and Tosh Burris.
Ryan Claridge is an interesting story, Steve. Number 49, the inside backer. He is a true freshman. Sania, their terrific inside linebacker, who would have been the all-time leading tackler, had a knee that was torn up, and as a result, they went to this youngster. And I think it's particularly difficult when you have a freshman, a true freshman, calling your defensive signals. With John Robinson, very confident in this young man.
With Claridge leading the way, it was a loss of 1, Todd. Bring up a 2nd down and 11. 2 tight ends in the game as Arkansas has opened up on a 2 tight end set for the most part in this first drive. Off play action again. Hampton under pressure. Trying to set up the screen to the other side, and it goes as an incomplete pass to Boo Williams. Difficult throw there by Hampton, who was pressured on the play by Randy Black.
And Sam Brandon was also in his face, number 42, the strong safety, and that's what forced him to throw the ball just a little bit short. This is the misdirection play that everybody is aware of. Pivots, now he comes to bootleg. Look at the people right in his face. It was a floater, and Boo Williams really needed to come back to the ball a little bit. Watch Boo Williams, he fades. Now he needs to come back, but instead he waits on it, and that enables Brandon to come in and bat the ball down.
It brings up a 3rd and 11. This is a UNL defense that had 30 sacks this season. Last season they had just 15, so they can pressure the quarterback, and they go on the draw to Holmes, and he's not anywhere close to the first down. He stopped at the 35 by Adrian Watson.
And Steve, I'm thinking that ahead of time, maybe they were thinking that this was 4-down territory. I'm not quite sure because we don't see anybody coming out on the field just yet. But this will really test the confidence that they have in their quarterback, and I believe, Steve, they are going to go for it.
Brings up a 4th down and 8. Tim Craig, the 4th-string tight end, checks in now, as Hampton has his assignment from Houston Nutt, the head coach. 4th down and 8. Maybe a pivotal play in the football game on the very first drive, and now we get a whistle and we'll stop it. Let's see. How many players they have in the field? Number 1. Arkansas will use a timeout. Their first of the game. Don't want to make any mistakes on 4th and 8. We're scoreless early in the 9th annual Las Vegas Bowl. Ball game on ESPN2 last night to open up the bowl season. This being bowl number 2 of the 25, and we're off to a good start here. 4th down and 8 for Arkansas at the 35 of UNLV. Hampton to throw with time, throws, got a man, and it's complete. Richard Smith has it, and he has enough for the first down. On a 4th and 8, the big completion, good for 14.
Boo Williams does a nice job of running everybody off. They're anticipating that Boo Williams farthest to the left of the outside as he runs it up. And as a result, Smith is able to get underneath on the deep out route. Single coverage just not enough. Randy Black, the strong safety, just couldn't stay with him. He's able to drop him in his tracks, but not before he gets a huge first down.
Smith set a school record for freshmen with 33 catches this season, breaking Anthony Lucas's mark. He set back in 95. So big connection there, and Arkansas maintains possession now on 1st and 10. And it's Brandon Holmes banging his way now to the 17-yard line. Anton Palapoy making the stop.
When we talked to the defensive people for UNLV, they mentioned the idea, as you see, Palapoy, who's gained his notoriety through the pass rush, but there he's able to run down Holmes from the side. I said, what is it about Holmes that stands out? Everybody said the same thing. He just runs real hard. And of course, a guy like that can wear you down heading into the 4th quarter.
Arkansas putting together an excellent drive here. They send the man in motion, bottom of his screen. Michael Snowden in motion. And it's Holmes, the ball carrier, down to the 11. Randy Black, the stop there. Arkansas's best offensive drive of the season was a 17-play, 98-yard drive against Georgia. Now, they started at the 31 in good field position, but moving the football down the field nicely here.
And this is interesting, too, here as we keep calling the same man over and over again. Last week against LSU, Holmes carried the ball 42 times. He was the only guy to carry the ball in the game. So if we keep mentioning number 7, folks, it's not because we're redundant or we're bored. It's because that's the guy that's got the ball. 6 carries for 21 yards up to this point.
A true freshman getting every single carry in a pivotal football game. Says something about him, says something about the depth as well. Holmes carries again. And they go through the middle of the line. Burris and Brandon, those tacklers.
Again, coming back to Holmes in that game against LSU, which was not last week, but rather the last game at the end of the season, rushed for 143 yards. And as you pointed out, Steve, at the top of the show, he wasn't even on the charts. I mean, he wasn't even listed. You know, of course, Cedric Cobbs, who they thought was a potential All-American, out for the year with a separated shoulder. Fred Talley, the man behind him. You can see in those last 2 games, he's put up some serious numbers. Probably a 1,000-yard guy if he begins the season as a starter.
12th play of this drive coming. It is Holmes, the ball carrier again. And we're going to run through our best Brandon Holmes information, I'd say, on the first drive. Well, Anthony Suggs made the stop.
And you know what? This has to be funny for John Robinson on the other side, because those of you who are hardcore football fans remember John Robinson at USC. Essentially, that's what he did. It was tailback U right there. You can see right there he's saying, watch the pass, watch the pass. Come on, John, that's wishful thinking. They're pounding inside with number 7. Need your front 7 to step out there.
Brings up a 2nd down and goal from the 7-yard line. Out of the eyes. Hampton throwing. And the pass intended for Boo Williams. And the throw just off the mark.
Okay, I stand corrected. There it is, right? He said, look for the pass. Here it is. Here I am, just a mere analyst. Here's the guy who's 7-1 in bowl games. He knows more than I do. Hampton a little bit rusty. There's the out route, just a little bit too far. That's good coverage on the part of Thomas, right with him, stride for stride.
The 7-1 bowl mark. If you look at head coaches who have coached 8 bowl games minimum, Robinson has the best all-time winning percentage. 4-0 in the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl. And here trying to win his first Las Vegas
Had a few players there to see, didn't he?
Some talent to work with. Here's 3rd down and goal now from the 7. Hampton to put it in the air. He's got plenty of time. Now under some pressure. Throws end zone, and it is touchdown.
That's a
in
great
heavy-duty traffic, it's Rod Stinson, the senior fullback, and he picks a great time for his first touchdown of the season.
And Steve, I got to tell you something. I thought when the ball left his hand that was a bad decision. He's going against the grain, throws across his body. Watch Stinson bounce back here and make the catch. Look at him extend himself, able to catch it between 3 UNLV players. Great job to hang on the ball despite the fact that Amar Briscoe almost separated the ball from his grasp. And I got to tell you something, Steve. I love it when fullbacks get their due, when they get a touchdown, get a bone thrown their way. But he earned that one, Stinson did.
Extra point is upcoming. Arkansas takes the 6-0 lead. With 8.5 to play here in the first. The extra point from Brennan O'Donohoe. The true freshman is good. Extra point's a problem earlier in the season, not here. Hampton to Stinson. Touchdown, Arkansas lead.
ESPN2's exclusive presentation of the 2000 Las Vegas Bowl is presented by Las Vegas. What you want, when you want, 24 hours a day. And in part by Blue Martini, the leading force in customer interaction software. And by Bosch Platinum Plus 4. Take your engine to a higher power.
Isn't that interesting? You score a touchdown, the coach comes over and explaining things to you. I'm thinking to myself, if I'm Rod Stinson, hey, yo, that's my first career touchdown catch. Just let me enjoy the thing. I'm on national television. I'll say hello to all the relatives. Don't explain to me something else regarding the game.
You would think the coach would talk to the guy who didn't catch the touchdown pass,
exactly right?
Stinson obviously has things buttoned up and down. Off a terrific throw from Hampton, who was 4 of 6 for 43 yards on that drive. And the kickoff is put into the end zone. Troy Mason, their fine return man, will just take a knee, and UNLV will start 1st and 10 from their own 20 with quarterback Jason Thomas, who has been called the most significant recruit in Rebel football history.
And in addition, John Robinson pointed out that he has never coached a quarterback, college or pro, as talented as him. And, of course, he's going to be trying to get the ball to number 6, Nate Turner, his brother from Compton.
First and 10, a time-consuming drive, 14 plays, 69 yards, and so with 8.5 to play in the first quarter, this is UNLV's first touch of the football. They open up with 3 wide receivers. Thomas airing it out, had a man wide open in Troy Mason, but couldn't get it to him, but there is a flag on the field. The offensive line for UNLV, and it's a good one, led by John Greer, the only unanimous all-conference choice on the offense for the Mountain West Conference.
And Randy Garner, number 1, is arguably the best athlete on the defensive line for Arkansas. He's the one that's going to be running around after number 2. That'll be fun, right? 1 after 2, huh? Cool.
They accepted the penalty, push him back, making it a 1st down and 20.
Garner, number 1 that you just saw on the screen there, came in as a freshman at 215. He's now a senior at 270 pounds. I guess that weight program works there in Fayetteville, huh?
On 1st and 20, they'll put it on the ground. And a good spin there by Jeremy Rudolph. And they get the big chunk of the penalty yardage back. And they'll bring up a 2nd down and long. Ken Hamlin finally brought him down after a gain of 12. And there's another flag.
Here there might have been some extracurricular activity. They're going to get, it looks like they might get all those yards back, Steve.
That ball, personal foul, awesome. Half the distance to goal, the end of the run, 2nd down.
Inevitably, it happens at the end of the play. Take a look just to the left of your screen. Watch the blocking. Is the play dead? Right, that you can see right there at the end. There's this. Now, see, that's when the 2nd guy gets caught. Clearly, that should have been a situation where Tony Bua, the bandit back, who went with the right cross, instead, it is number 83 for UNLV, Trevin Sorensen, that gets caught. Bad break for the Rebels.
Brings up a 2nd down and 19 now. Heavy-duty hit on Rudolph. He was flat out wrecked by Corey Harris. Among the linebackers in the starting lineup for Arkansas, Quentin Caver is the real star consensus All-SEC in the middle.
You just saw the big hit by Corey Harris. He has now been moved to strong safety as a result of the terrific play by Ken Hamlin, the free safety, redshirt freshman, All-American on the freshman team this year with 104 tackles.
3rd down and 17. The penalties really hurt. They go to a 3 wide receiver set, which is the way they opened up. Arkansas leading 7-0. First possession for UNLV. And Thomas under pressure, and he's going to go down. J.J. Jones on the sack.
There's going to be a lot of pressure on the offensive line this game for UNLV, and initially it would have been hope for the sake of John Robinson and the Rebels that Thomas could have got off to a good start, but instead the pursuit is tremendous by Arkansas. And here's an interesting stat, Steve, coming into this game. Arkansas with only 13 sacks the entire season, so it's not like they're a sack-happy group, and you would have thought that a mobile quarterback like Hoover got away, but not the first time. Arkansas is right there.
Loss of 7, so a 4th and 24. An obvious punt situation for Ray Chitani. And Chitani under some pressure will get it away, and it's a dandy spiraling kick that is fumbled and recovered. Stephen Harris for Arkansas recovered at the 45, and our 3rd flag of the football game after the 50-yard punt by Chitani.
Should be upset with himself, not only dropping the ball, but realizing that he had a lot of room because the 50-yarder had indeed outkicked his coverage. But maybe with this penalty, it's going to be a moot point anyway.
Six fouls, 10 yards, bottom foul. First down, Arkansas.
So the Razorbacks will take over. First and 10 on their second possession. Perfect. We come to you from Las Vegas. Site of the greatest night in sports. It's the ESPY Awards. It's going to be a grand night, as usual, from the MGM Grand on Monday, February 12th. The show bigger and better than ever as ESPN honors the greatest athletes and players of 2000. The ESPY Awards.
Are you there?
Absolutely. Wouldn't miss it for the world. Throw on the money. Robby Hampton able to complete the pass to Michael Snowden, the wide receiver.
Very inauspicious first series by Thomas. But then again, maybe things would have been better if not in that first series. Of course, the key play was that 4th and 8 conversion. Everybody thought that it would have gone to Drew Williams, but instead on the out route is the freshman, as you pointed out, record-setting freshman, number 8, Richard Smith. Nice job, makes the catch, cuts back inside. Crucial play. Certainly a key play to keep the drive alive for the Razorbacks in their first scoring.
Got 14 on that play, Todd. As Arkansas now takes over with Brandon Holmes, the ball carrier. He's very close to another first down.
Who? Really?
Exactly. Brandon Holmes.
Well, I'm thinking that after he got in the end zone, they might say, hey, number 19, let's give you a shot here, 3rd and short. Maybe let's give the ball to Stinson, 5'10", 215 pounds. A guy that can get you some yardage.
Holmes, for all the carries, not a lot of yards, though, Todd. 8 carries for 20, or rather 9 carries. That was his 9th carry for 28 yards. Let's see the average up a little bit. You wonder wear and tear factor if he's going to carry every single time.
He's 18, for goodness sake.
There's no wear and tear factor?
Don't you remember that SC coach who said the ball's not that heavy?
It's only 2 pounds. Here's 3rd and 2 now. Under pressure. What a move by Hampton to get away. Airs it out. He's got a man. And it was just slightly off the mark. Richard Smith was burning down the middle of the field.
And there's the inexperience by Smith because he really didn't have the time. He was getting pressured by Watson. Take a look. This is a great play here by Hampton. Now he steps up. Now at this point the receiver gives up on it because really what Smith should be doing right there is cutting back to the middle of the field where there's nothing but grass and the free safety is long gone.
Richie Butler punts it away for Arkansas. Troy Mason will let it bounce for UNLV, and the Rebels, never to be mistaken for the running Rebels. That's only their basketball program. It's 7-0 Razorbacks.
Some people will watch.
Welcome back to the Las Vegas Bowl. Game time temperature 56 degrees, and I hope they were joking. Someone said it could get down to 19 tonight here at Sam Boyd. We'll watch for that. UNLV, second possession. Second time they start from their own 20, and it's Kevin Brown, the ball carrier, giving some relief to Jeremy Rudolph. He picks up a few on the play.
Well, they didn't lose a lot when they went with Brown. Rudolph, of course, a 1,000-yard rusher on the season. But Brown at 788 yards, 5.3 per carry. Along with Rudolph and, of course, Thomas, their quarterback. They rushed for well over 2,000 yards, Steve.
Second down, 8.
Brings up a second down and 8 now. 2 receivers out to the left. They go play action to Brown. Here's Jason Thomas putting it up, and that ball is dropped. Would have been a nice catch by Nate Turner, but one he has consistently made this season. Should have caught that.
And Nate knows it. Thomas saw that he was so wide open that he took just a little bit off the ball. Now take a look. It's the misdirection. There he is, clearly in the flat. He doesn't need to jump, and that's the thing right there. He jumps. If he just reaches up, backhands the ball, he can come up with it. Instead, Turner jumps a little bit, trying to cushion it. Ball hits the ground.
Turner led the Mountain West Conference in catches and receiving yards. Some of the numbers are skewed because they played 12 games. So if you break it down in averages, he was actually number 3 in catches, number 2 in receiving yards, at average per game. Here's 3rd down and 8. Will he get another chance? He will, and he's got that one for the first down and more. 3rd and 8 comes through. 14-yard gain there.
And he's looking around saying, come on, why didn't you throw a flag? As he goes out of bounds, he gets tackled a good 6 yards outside. Kenny Hamlin, his number, puts him down. And then you can see this is going to be an interesting matchup. Arkansas pass defense 2nd in the nation. Thomas and Turner are going to have their work cut out for them in this ball game. It's arguably the best matchup, I'd have to say, here, team to team. Would you, Steve?
Absolutely. Arkansas overall defense ranked 12th in the nation. Number 1 in the powerful SEC. Off the play action, here's Thomas now. Looking to put it up. The lefty thrower able to complete the Troy Mason.
Troy Mason just puts on a terrific move. Number 86, he's their speed guy. He's the guy they want to go to. This is the classic post corner. Here he goes right here. Oh, look out. Oh, my goodness. Turn him completely around on the coverage. Boy, oh, boy, just did not get the job done was Eddie Jackson, the cornerback. But again, Mason's been doing that to a lot of people. Outside of Turner and Mason, you see his numbers on the season. The third receiver on the team, Steve, is not even in double digits. So clearly, these are the two guys who are going to have to put it out for the Rebels this evening.
Mason on the receiving end of that 23-yard catch. Mason, you saw the 18-yard average. That's the best on the team per reception. The play clock down to 2, and now 1. And they will take their first timeout of the game. 4:26 left, first quarter from the Las Vegas Bowl, and Las Vegas losing. Todd Christensen, Heather Cox from the Sam Boyd Stadium, the Las Vegas Bowl. As you look at John Robinson, the nation's 8th winningest active head coach.
And the reason take a look at that right there, it's the headset. When he was coaching for the Rams and later with SC, you never saw that on. Now he's got it on. He's much more involved.
Thomas couldn't get that one away as he was under heavy pressure by J.J. Jones and Carlos Hall. I would say this bowl game means as much to J.J. Jones as any other player. The fifth-year senior had missed the previous 2 bowl games for Arkansas due to injury. One football-related, one was in a car accident. So no one is more fired up to play in a bowl game than J.J. Jones.
Yeah, it's kind of like courting the girl all week long and someone else takes her out on Friday night. That's messed up when you miss the bowl games. I'm happy for the youngster. He gets his opportunity now for postseason play.
He's made a couple of good plays already in this one. Loss of 2 brings up a 2nd down and 12. Thomas had successive completions of 15 and 23 before he was sacked, and he's got another completion there. So that'll go for a short gain of 7 on the play.
Well, it's a short game, but then it sets up a makeable 3rd and 5, and that's one of the things that Nate Turner does so well, is he gets the ball upfield, and at 6'3", 210 pounds, he's not an easy man to bring down. You saw the 2 guys try to bring him down. He gets that extra 2 yards.
It should be pointed out, 7 yards is not a short game. It looks shorter to me, and then Marty puts the number 7 in my face, so then I got one of them sort of stuck there. So a nice gain of 7 yards on the play. Brings up a 3rd down and 5. Here's Thomas under pressure. He's brought down again. This time at the 35-yard line, Tony Bua on the stop. And let's go down to the sideline and rejoin Heather Cox.
Well, guys, I talked to Arkansas co-defensive coordinator Bobby Allen yesterday about containing Thomas. He said they'll defend him like they would another tailback. And when they pass rush, they'll keep contained thoughts, keep him in the pocket. Arkansas does not want to let him get outside and create. They want to keep him off guard. In fact, at times, they may assign a rover or a spy to him. They feel if they contain the rushing yards, they'll be in a position for success. So far, so good. Back to you.
Steve, I'm really surprised at this point of the 35-yard line, 4th and 5 with that great quarterback. They're punting it away.
Chitani boots it, and let's see where it bounces, and a great bounce for UNLV. It goes out at the 4-yard line, and that's where Arkansas will take over with their 7-0 lead. Todd, you know, if you're not busy on Saturday, we have the 2000 World's Strongest Man competition. For the first time, ESPN will give you the opportunity to see how the competition is laid out. Follow the competitors in the qualifying rounds right to the crowning of the championship. And it all begins on ESPN Saturday. The first 2 qualifying rounds at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific. If you're not tied up, Todd.
Let me tell you something. I have Danish descendants, and always there's somebody. You know, it's a very North and Western European, you know, the Scandinavian countries. Christensen, that's a likely name. Could be in there. Check it out.
On 1st and 10 from the 3-yard line. Rod Stinson is the ball carrier. Anthony Suggs the tackle, Stinson the carrier. That's news in itself.
Oh, sure, when you're backed up against your goal line, that's when you get it. Sure, come on. Rod Stinson, come on. You know, give me a break. How about the 1-yard line at the other end so I can get another touchdown?
Stinson, one of the fullbacks, tight ends, and snappers who were nice enough to give Todd a standing ovation at the Las Vegas Bowl luncheon yesterday. Todd was the guest speaker.
Completely unprovoked, I might add.
By yours truly. 2nd down and 9. That toss is complete to Boo Williams. Marty, that is a short gain right there. Lamar Briscoe made it.
Well, of course, at the end of the season, both of these teams had to have wins at the end of the season. Of course, Arkansas, look how impressive that is. To win at Starkville is no easy task. And, of course, the Bayou Tigers, you can see UNLV with 3 straight wins that enabled them to get into this bowl game. And certainly, Steve, at the beginning of November, you would have said, no shot. There's no way these 2 teams are getting a bowl game. Give them credit for coming through down the stretch.
That win at Mississippi State snapped a 16-game home winning streak that Mississippi State had. As that ball is caught by Boo Williams, tumbling to the ground. Lamar Briscoe made this time. You talk about this being an unlikely bowl matchup. I mean, Mississippi State had that 16-game home winning streak. And Arkansas had lost 9 straight road games in the conference. So you couple those streaks, here are the Razorbacks in a bowl game.
Isn't this fun? As we noticed here on the program, you saw both head coaches. And, of course, both head coaches are calling their own plays. And that's something we're seeing more in vogue now at the college level. We did a couple of games this year, and Steve Spurrier does it, Ron Turner does it. A number of coaches now have taken the illness of being offensive coordinator, too.
Sure, if you're going to get fired, you might as well call your own plays. Robby Hampton tried to airmail one to Williams. It was soared over his head. You could look at the blue eyes of Hampton.
You apologized to him yesterday at the luncheon for not introducing him. I saw you get up and say, oh, hey, I'm really sorry. He goes, that's all right. No problem.
Not exactly the case. The agenda said
something. What he said? What he said?
The agenda said something completely different.
Oh, did he tell you? Did he say step outside with me, hockey boy? Did I hear him say that?
No, I didn't hear him say that. He might have though. Here's Hampton now out of the eye, and there's movement, and there are 3 yellow flags to hit the football field. In the final half minute of the first quarter, looks like Suggs might have jumped the nose guard for UNLV.
Well, certainly that was the case. The issue here would be, as you can hear the Arkansas fans boo, as to whether or not they'd made a collision. If they didn't,
Before the snap,
and they could have let the play go.
By contact on the defense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Previous spot, still 2nd down.
Take a look and see if there is contact in the middle of the line. Right? Ooh, man, that was close. But evidently that's what they saw. Anthony Suggs jumps offside, ticks the jersey of the guard just enough.
On 2nd down and 5. Interesting motion there as they now set up out of the eye. Send Smith in motion, top of your screen. And try the right side to Brandon Holmes. And Holmes is forced out at the 22-yard line.
Good stand up there by UNLV in that case. They opt to go short side, thinking that they're going to fool them. Instead, good pursuit on the part of UNLV, now forcing a 3rd down here near the end of the first quarter.
Not surprised how that penalty didn't go against Arkansas. The Razorbacks committed the 2nd fewest penalties in the SEC this season. And I think that's one of the real things you can look directly at the coach for. Well-run program on the field, and that's a real credit. Lack of penalties to Houston Nutt and his staff. Brings up a 3rd down and 3. 3 of 5 on 3rd down conversions so far. Off the pump and go, and they just misfired. Hampton missed Smith, could have been 6.
And Hampton knows it too. They had exactly what they wanted, play action. They've been throwing all of these short balls. They had Smith on the corner route wide open. You see Hampton's frustrated. Look at that, just wide open. Just can't deliver the ball through it too far. Smith's frustrated. Hampton's reaction, are you kidding me? Nuts. Well, that's a head coach. Rats.
Hampton now 7 of 12 as Richie Butler had a 58-yard punt the first time around. What a pretty good punt this time. Here's Troy Mason now on the punt return. That football is fumbled, and Mason is able to recover.
It was knocked out there, Steve. It appeared by Caleb Miller, who's the one that was able to get a hand on it. Mason lucky to get that one back.
Bowl week on ESPN is coming your way. The biggest names and the biggest games. 12 games in 9 days, featuring the best talent from the nation's elite conferences. And it all starts with the Oahu Bowl on Christmas Eve and concludes with a Big Ten showdown on New Year's Day. Bowl week on ESPN and ESPN2. And we'll be in Hawaii. I look forward to bringing you that Oahu Bowl game on Christmas Eve. Jeremy Rudolph is the ball carrier for UNLV. Caleb Miller made the stop.
These last couple of seconds of the first quarter are really going a long ways here, aren't they? 2 or 3 out of bounds. The running game for UNLV has to get established, because if it isn't, then they can afford the luxury of coming up the middle and doing, as Heather Cox pointed out, putting themselves in a contained kind of rush on the quarterback. That's going to put too much pressure on Thomas. Rudolph and Brown have to get something going.
Brings up a second down and 13.
Second down 13
Our
for
clock
UNLV.
says zeros, so too does the scoreboard clock,
At
and
the end
that
of the
will
first
do
period
it.
here.
1 quarter complete in the 9th annual Las Vegas Bowl. And John Robinson and UNLV find themselves trailing 7-0.
NHL
Complete here at Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas, and make it 10 consecutive quarters now that the Arkansas defense has not given up a touchdown. They remain on the field to open up quarter number 2. Here's Jason Thomas getting outside and throwing across the middle, able to complete to Nate Turner. Breaks one tackle, can't break another. DeAndre Berry, the left corner, finally brought him down, but after a gain of 26 of the second quarter, opens in a big way for the Rebels.
Jim Ed Reed is completely fooled. Watch number 44 as he comes in. Look at this. He goes after the fullback. He could have had the quarterback dead to rights. Instead, he goes after the fullback, gets fooled on the play action. He rolls out. Terrific on-the-run throw by Thomas. He delivers the ball right on the money to Turner, despite the fact that it wobbles just a little bit, a la Joe Cap.
Turner's got 3 catches already for 48 yards. Todd will watch for that. Out of the eye. Quick hitter to the first man through, and that's Stephen Costa, the sophomore.
Stephen Costa, the ball carrier for UNLV.
Numbers from quarter number 1. Really dominant numbers by Arkansas, but they only lead 7-0.
Well, dominant numbers because really a chunk of that happened in that first drive when they went the length of the field and chewed up a lot of time as well as a lot of yards.
Gain of 4 on that play. Brings up a second down and 6. Play clock is down to 3, as you see, and that quick hit pass is complete and then fumbled by Turner. Let's see if they actually call it a completion.
Yeah, I think they did.
do.
What ends up happening is he gets the ball stripped by Derek Johnson, the bandit back, but he's able to recover. Just a short out route, gets turned to the ball out in the flat, cuts upfield, watch the left arm come in there. Oh, you know what? I'm not so sure. Now that you mentioned it, Steve, it did look like he bobbled that a little bit. That certainly could have been considered an incompletion.
So they catch a break, bring up a 3rd down and 1. Catch a break in 2 ways. If they call it a completion, then he's lucky to get back and recover that football. 4th attempt and a 3rd down conversion. Quick drop and the pass, and it's complete to Turner again for the reception, and then some extracurricular as he and Ken Hamlin get together.
Well, the reason for that, there's a little bit of a history. Remember down here earlier, Steve, going the other direction, and Hamlin tackled him a good 6 yards out of bounds. Watch the play. This is one thing that the Pro Scouts have to like about Turner. Now, watch, he catches it. Instead of making a move, lowers his shoulder and cuts upfield. Bam! He's going to hit you. He's going to cut upfield, get you some extra yardage to that 210-pound body. Hamlin did not need to tug on his leg, and as a result, minor fisticuffs. A little tete-a-tete.
Here in Las Vegas, it's okay to say the odds are good, but Turner's going to catch the ball. He has 51% of the team's receptions. This time it's the handoff. Rudolph. He's down to the 20, and he's brought down again by Ken Hamlin, who seems to make all the tackles. The redshirt freshman led the team in tackles.
There's a big hole there, and as you mentioned, Hamlin, really, that was kind of a saving thing. Watch the hole open up and take a look at Hamlin step up and make the play. Here he comes off tackle. Take a look at the hole right here. It's just a huge hole. He's able to cut out, and Hamlin steps up, squares his shoulders. Rudolph tries to stiff arm, but as well, he drops him. And so really, it was a minimal gain as opposed to one that could have gone a long ways.
So on 2nd down and 6, here's Thomas with time, throwing corner of the end zone, touchdown! It's Nate Turner, great concentration, the 11th touchdown catch of the season, and we're an extra point away from a tie game.
And what great arm strength on the part of Thomas as he goes to fake the handoff. He's actually dropping back still as he throws the ball. This young man, this 6'4", 240-pounder, number 2's got a gun for an arm.
Thomas's 15th touchdown pass of the season. Dillon Pieffer on for the extra point, and it is good with 12:09 to play. In the first half, we're tied at 7, and Nate Turner has caught 4 balls on that drive, including the one that counts the most. 8th annual Las Vegas Bowl haven't always been heavily attended, but they've had very close games. If you look at the touchdown maker, Utah beat Fresno State 17-16 in the 99 Las Vegas Bowl. Here's Stephen Harris returning the kickoff, and he is pounded down to the turf. And they'll take over now 1st and 10 from about their own 25-yard line. Down to the field, and Heather Koch.
Thanks so much, Steve. I'm joined by Rossi Rollencotter, the Vice President of Marketing of the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. Thanks so much for joining us. We know you must be excited to be involved with college football during the bowl season.
Well, you know, the combination of college football and the excitement of Las Vegas, the most exciting city in the world, is really a winning combination for all of us.
And this is one of many sporting events to be held in Las Vegas this year.
As a matter of fact, next February, kind of like the ESPN week in Las Vegas, we have the Big League Challenge the 2nd week of February. And on February the 12th, the ESPYs, followed in March by the Mountain West Basketball Championship. So we have all kinds of sporting events and activities in Las Vegas.
All right, Rossi, thanks so much for the great time. We'll let you enjoy the game, and let's get back to the action.
All right, Heather, thank you. Rossi has really put his heart and soul into keeping this football game here in Las Vegas, and we certainly hope that they're successful in that endeavor. They're going to have to re-kick now after the flag on the previous kickoff as you get a good look inside Sam Boyd Stadium. They weren't short. It holds about 36,800 fans. And they were hoping to have some 25,000 in attendance here today. The Arkansas defense that has been so good, that's the first touchdown they've allowed in 11 quarters. Ray Chitani will do it again. Tee it up and kick it away. And it's a short kick. Stephen Harris. And a flag as the ball goes out of bounds. And what now?
It's such a momentum killer, Steve, when that happens.
NFL football is coming your way. Sunday night football moves to Saturday night this week on ESPN. Doug Flutie will get the start for the Bills in Seattle against the Seahawks. Ricky Waters needs 15 yards to tie Otis Anderson for 12th place on the NFL all-time rushing list. And then Monday night, a game with playoff implications. If the Titans can win at home against the Cowboys, they will clinch home field throughout the playoffs. That's Monday Night Football, ABC at 9 Eastern, ESPN and ABC, your exclusive home for primetime NFL football. Back at the college level here, under 12 to play, tied at 7 in the Las Vegas Bowl.
Holmes, the ball carrier.
It's Brandon Holmes on the ground. Ahmad Miller made the stop for Las Vegas.
And if Tennessee were to win that game, you're mentioning home field advantage. I think they've lost, what, once? Once at Philadelphia. One time they've lost at home in their last couple of years here. Very impressive home record. Including that forward pass on the kickoff return. Still think it was forward. All right.
So in Buffalo, they feel the same way.
Now they do right.
2nd down and 7. Good field position here for Arkansas. Hampton goes play action, buying himself some time. Time for a cup of coffee. Now he's hit as he puts it up in the air. And a good job to come back to the ball by Boo Williams, who went up all 6'4" from the make the grab. The pressure came from Adrian Watson, but he was just too late.
And if I'm Hampton, that's not a big decision. I mean, I wouldn't say he has the athleticism of a Randy Moss, but certainly he's a big body. It's not just the 6'4" in this case, it's the 235 pounds. Look at it, he just beats Bristol up. Look at him. Push him off. Yeah, get out of here. You're a gnat. Get away from me. And he's able to reach up. What a tremendous catch he makes. Briscoe did everything he could but Boo Williams just too big and strong.
Apparently, Boo is teased about his speed, his lack of speed, but he told his coach, hey, I got game speed. When it's time, he can turn it on. Didn't need it there. Needed his Randy Holmes carries, and that is a loss. Arkansas needed a win in their final game of the season to be bowl eligible. They hosted LSU in rainy Little Rock. On LSU's first play, Quentin Caver intercepted Josh Foodie, ran at 33 yards with a touchdown, setting the tone. Richard Smith and Robby Hampton hooked up there, and the freshman Brandon Holmes with his first collegiate start pulled in from the 11. Arkansas beating LSU to become bowl eligible. 2nd and 11. Putting it up is Hampton, and too far for his intended receiver, the fullback Rod Stinson. Todd, we keep going back to the two schools and how they got here, winning 3 in a row for UNLV, Arkansas winning 2 in a row. Do you buy into any momentum? I mean, the last game that UNLV played was, some 3 weeks ago.
Well, I think so, and I think that Houston Nutt, the head coach, pointed out that, and that was that when they were 4-5, and I'm sure the same situation when UNLV was 4-5, is you say, hey, you know what, come on, we're not going anywhere. Let's play hard, work hard for next year, blah, 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 all those platitudes. Instead, they sucked it up and won. So I think you've got a lot of pride in both these schools coming into this bowl game.
Brings up a 3rd down and 11. Here's Hampton. Steps up. Throws. Touchdown. Great body position there by Boo Williams. Kevin Thomas was right there, but Williams played it perfectly.
Well, again, you pointed it out, Steve, and that's the great job he does with his body, and that's why the pro scouts are going to like this man. Kevin Thomas is a quality corner. He's right with him. Here it is, kind of that juke funny fake, but it actually does a nice job on Thomas. He's a little bit late, but what can he do? He tries to get his hand in there, but that's the advantage of being 6'4", 230, 235 pounds. Interesting, Joe Montana visited the campus and visited the team earlier in the year, Steve. Took one look at him and says, you look like one of the defensive ends that used to chase me. He's huge.
Here's Brendan O'Donohoe to put it through. Arkansas led 7-0. It was 7-7. Now it's 14-7 in favor of the Razorbacks. Robby Hampton playing through pain all season. He's feeling some more of it, but it's worth it right now.
December 30th on ESPN.
ESPN2's exclusive presentation of the 2000 Las Vegas Bowl is presented by Las Vegas. What you want, when you want, 24 hours a day. And in part by Dodge and nearly 3,000 dealers who invite you to come see what's different.
Alongside Heather Cox, Todd Christensen, Steve Levy from Las Vegas, Nevada. Good look at the Strip, some 10 miles away from Sam Boyd Stadium, although it takes a little longer than 10 minutes to get here, I'll say. As the kick is in the air, and it's Troy Mason attempted to return. He did spin move, and he spun right into an on-rushing tackler. Kevin Baker, the special teams stop. We told you about John Robinson among head coaches with at least 8 bowl games. He's got the best winning percentage. He's got a secret.
Well, it helps you have good players. But I think not getting them ready too soon. Trying to balance the mixture between fun and preparation. I think if you try to prepare 10 days out or something like that too seriously, you never quite get their attention. So I think closing in the last couple of days of eliminating the extracurricular and then getting down and being focused and rested. I think at the end of the season, teams are tired. And with finals and all that, we got a lot of tired guys. So I'm trying.
Something else to add to that he pointed out, which I thought was a very good point, is that he said they don't even address necessarily the opponent in the first week or two of preparation. They really focus on those individuals and opponents in the last 4 or 5 days. He makes a very good point with regards to that, because players can get tired if you're practicing essentially 3.5 weeks for that one opponent, mentally and physically.
Brown is in the game, giving Rudolph a bit of a breather. Just pass protecting now as Jason Thomas could have taken off. Now he throws it in the air, underthrows his receiver, and the flags come. Kevin Baker was step for step with Mason. Baker had no idea where the football was.
He didn't, and that's one of those. This is one of those penalties where I'm glad at the collegiate level it's only 15 yards. Clearly it wasn't a situation where it was obvious. He pulled him down, he grabbed his hands, but it was one that you had to call because he did not afford Mason the opportunity to get back to the ball. But what's impressive here partly is the throw. You've got Thomas running to his right as a left-hander. Watch him square up and gun this thing about 55, 60 yards in the air. Certainly not his best throw, and you can see right at the end, the hand comes out, he grabs the arm. That was a little more intentional than I first realized, but again, still glad it's only 15 yards.
Gordon Reese, our referee. The officials from the Pac-10 here at the 9th annual Las Vegas Bowl. From the 42-yard line on 1st and 10, after they pick up the hanky. Single setback, and they give it to Brown. Pickup of maybe 2 on the play. J.J. Jones is there again.
Stumbled a little bit. It looked like he had an opening, but Jones closed it in a hurry. 64 tackles on this season. 3rd leading tackler for the Hogs.
Fourth tackle of the game for Jones. Bring up a 2nd down and 8 after the pickup of 2. As the stadium is filled up rather nicely here tonight. 3 receivers in the game. And they go to the draw play with Brown. He is pounded back at the 43-yard line. Once again, here's Heather.
Well, guys, Jason Thomas missed parts of 4 games due to injury this year, and he's still bothered by a mild foot sprain. If he should go down today, things could get dicey. Backup quarterback Jason Vaughn was not allowed to suit for tonight's bowl game after violating a team rule this week. He was a big loss. He played in 6 games with 2 starts. Now, if Thomas goes down, number 11, Chris Hayward, who's only taken a few snaps this year, would fill in. Then it goes to long snapper Ryan Hansen to be taking the snap.
Hoping that never gets to that situation is Thomas. All sorts of time now, running for his life, gets some good blocks, and has the sideline to himself. And he is out at the 31-yard line.
And there's going to be a flag, and I think that this is going to be on Arkansas. At the end of the play, it appeared the offensive lineman, Kenny Sandlin, the offensive guard, actually whacks Thomas as he goes out of bounds. I think they're going to tack on 15 yards here. Great block downfield by Kevin Brown, who was able to knock the man down and enable Thomas to get to the outside.
It's a 24-yard run. We'll see what happens to that yardage after we figure out the flag.
I'm surprised UNLV is moving back. It appeared to me that he got whacked out. That should have gone the other way, is my feeling on that. Let's see.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense. That's 15 yards at the end of the run.
Well, that's a big surprise. Watch at the end of this play. I thought that it was going to go on Sandlin, number 57. Watch here. Evidently, he thought he was taunting. Now watch Sandlin. Look, he lowers the shoulder and whacks him right there. What's that? Come on.
Yep, you're right.
No, come on. What are you going to do here? That goes against the quarterback. It's insane.
Oh, maybe
he might have spit in his face.
That's what that looked like.
Maybe that was.
Yep.
Man, taking a page out of the Bill Romanowski book, huh? And John Robinson obviously can't see the expectoration, I guess would be the word, from that distance.
Now Thomas throwing, holding. It's Turner. Turner running the other way and nearly knifed through. That was on the 25-yard line. A fun play after a nasty play by the quarterback.
Well, Nate Turner was in a situation where they kind of had that double pass. It looked like that schoolyard thing you used to do when you played 2-on-2. He was set to throw the ball, but shows a great penchant for open field running. He made some people miss, did number 6, and now John Robinson wants the explanation after the fact. Hey, John, you know what? It's too late now. Come on, man. Enjoy the yardage. You're 1st and 10. It's all good.
Hey, Todd, Turner did throw a touchdown pass earlier this season to Bobby Nero against Wyoming. Turner now 7 catches for 94 yards and the 1 score. Off the ground has really taken over for Rudolph. Corey Harris brought him down, and the Rebels are on the run.
I have a question for you on that last throw to Turner. Does that count as a reception? Or does that count as a run? Because was it thrown backwards? That's what I'm curious, because didn't he pull it back like he was going to throw?
You look at me, I look at Marty Aronoff.
I just want to know.
It goes as a run.
Oh, well, if Marty said so, I guess that's it then. Okay.
As if there's a higher authority?
Oh, there isn't. All right.
Arkansas will be charged with their second timeout of the first half. They lead 14-7.
Field.
And is livid over what happened on the sidelines the play prior, and he's still going at it. It reminds me a little bit of the baseball manager kind of thing, but he wanted to know what the deal is. He knew his man was hit. Now watch. There's the collision. Thomas doesn't like it. Waits through. Now watch the back of Sandlin's head. Look at the spray. Pshoo! You can see it right there. Of course, the question is, he can't be fined like they do in the NFL.
Right.
But again, you know what? I'm not saying the spitting is justified, but certainly some sort of retaliation, because the guy did take a whack at him out of bounds.
Second down and 4. But yeah, but you come up with something else other than the expectation. Okay. It wasn't a league. You didn't have time. Kevin Brown, the ball carrier there. Jermaine Brooks made the stop. Coming up on 7 minutes to play, and what's been an entertaining first half from Las Vegas.
Well, after proffering that salivary projectile, it appears that Thomas is into his groove. Is that better? You like that better?
Much better.
All right.
Now look, I'm all for payback, but I think you have to pick your spots.
No, absolutely.
Certainly not in that fashion.
Well, but again, if he doesn't spit, is the penalty going to go against the guy on the sidelines who threw an elbow at him?
No, I don't think it would have been called.
No? Right. I'd be right.
Third down and 6. They showed it up on the big board, and of course they could not see that as well. And that's why the crowd reacted negatively. Here's Thomas now, buying himself some time. Ball batted up in the air and nearly intercepted. Woodford was the intended receiver. There was pressure from Quentin Caver.
One of the advantages that they have in their 4-2-5 defense is you can see defensive backs are able to rush. Again, this is a great job, and Harris needed that one. That was a very interceptable ball. And we're looking at a fairly long field goal here, Steve.
A 41-yard attempt is what they're calling it for Dillon Pieffer. Snap is high, but it's brought down nicely, and the kick on the way, and not even close. Wide right from 41 yards away, and that'll keep it a 14-7 game. ABC, you might know, is the home of the Bowl Championship Series, and it all climaxes in the National Championship game. Number 1, Oklahoma. Number 2, Florida State. The Orange Bowl, January 3rd, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC. Good little hookup between Josh Heupel and Chris Wenke. Let's see who comes out on top that time.
But it's going to be minus Snoop Minnis, one of the people that they pointed out who's having some problems with the academics.
Brandon Holmes, the ball carrier.
John Robinson there talking to his offensive stars there, both Turner and Thomas. And it's, again, not to be redundant, but as Heather pointed out early on, this is the part that he really enjoys. He's the head coach. He's on the bench right here with the guys, being involved. Normally, this is the sort of thing that gets delegated, as he pointed out when he was in that CEO role. He didn't do those sorts of things. Now he's able to.
Second down and 8 from the eye. And here's Hampton with time, good protection across the middle. And he had a streaking Michael Snowden, but could not connect.
Number 27, Michael Snowden.
Michael Snowden's an interesting character. 6'3", 212 pounds. That makes for a pair of very large wide receivers. And, of course, one of the things that I found interesting about number 27 is I was looking through the books, and they asked the different players who they'd like to meet. And, of course, the naturals. And he says he'd like to meet Ralph Lauren. I said, Ralph Lauren? He said the reason he wanted to meet him is because that's the guy he spent so much money with.
It's a great line.
Of all the guys you could have met, he says Ralph Lauren.
Be a well-dressed football player.
Yeah.
4 wide receivers. UNLV goes to its nickel package on third and 8, as you would expect. Again, all sorts of time. Now finally under some pressure, throws, and is it intercepted? No. Incomplete and batted down. Randy Black thought he had picked one.
Now that time, Boo Williams did a nice job of coming back for the ball. Black almost was able to come up with the interception, but Williams, in fighting him, forced the ball to the ground, and as a result, Hampton's lucky not to come away with an interception. Watch number 23 reach back for the ball. There's Black. The ball hits the ground. Good call by the official, even though Black has his hands around it. You can see clearly that the ball hit the ground.
You're right, Tucker. Good job by Boo Williams, the receiver, to make sure it hit the ground. 4th and 8. Here's Richie Butler's having himself a fine night. Troy Mason is back deep to try to return this punt. 58-yarder is the first time. Here's his third boot. Low, spiraling kick going. A good one. Forced Mason back deep. And here's Mason trying to shoot up the middle. And he had one more man. The BB puts the football on the ground. Fumbled football. Let's see who has it. And they say it will go the other way. I'm not sure. Wait, one official pointed it was UNLV, and the other said Arkansas had maintained. Well, let's see. Confusion on the field.
Now the second official gets up and says Arkansas. Now, Steve, I'm wondering if that's one of those where the so-called ground caused the fumble.
Right. They're still battling at the bottom of the pile there.
And Rose for UNLV comes up with the ball. So what's the deal? What's the decision? I think
UNLV players are still pointing as if they have the football. And their offense is on the field. There's the call.
Watch the end of the plate. Right there he gets stripped. Does the ball come out before he hits the ground? That's the debate, right? He does indeed. It does indeed come out, but it doesn't matter either way because UNLV is going to come up with the ball. Good call by the official both ways.
On 1st down and 10 now. The ball spotted just over midfield. It's a 50-yard punt and a 29-yard return. Here's Jason Thomas airing it out. Down the middle, comes up short. Oh, my, he got it. And it is caught. Nate Turner is down at the 2-yard line. Does another good job coming back to the football.
This shows the strength of the arm of Jason Thomas. He rolls to the left and throws across his body to the right. But for all intents and purposes, I thought this ball was going to be picked off. Look at that, waiting for the interception right there at the end of his green, but he can't come up with it. Turner does a great job of concentrating on the ball. He is having a huge game, already over 100 yards in receptions. Great concentrations. He drops to his backside, still comes up with the ball. Green should have at least knocked it down.
45-yard pass play. Turner's well over 100 yards now. 7 catches, 121 yards. And it's 1st and goal now from the 3-yard line. And they hand it off to Jeremy Rudolph. And Rudolph is pushed back, dropped at about the 9-yard line. Caleb Miller made the stop.
Well, Turner made a very cogent point to us yesterday. A very eloquent young man, by the way, who understood the passing game and the nuances of John Robinson's offense. Turner, number 6, said to us, he said, one of the things we'd like to take advantage of is the balls that are thrown more than 30 yards because so many times defensive backs break down and don't know what to do. Clearly, that's the case for number 21, Orlando Green, because he's set to get the pick, loses his bearings, and can't come up with it. It's kind of like that center fielder you see all the time who misjudges the fly ball. Great concentration by number 6.
Turner in motion left, and they try the right side. And it's Thomas, and he could not get around the corner. Let's go down to the field. Here's Heather.
Well, Todd and Steve, we just saw John Robinson talking to both Turner and Thomas in that last series, and that is exactly what they were talking about. He said because Arkansas has 8 in the box, we've got to capitalize on the deep plays, take advantage of a very young Arkansas secondary. Boom, next play, the 45-yard pass. Back to you.
Now, one of the strange things about that, though, and that's a very good point you make, Heather, is that now they get down here, and having thrown the ball to get down here, their first 2 times they get stuffed with the run. Now, 3rd and 5, they're forced to put it up, and it's going to be painfully predictable here.
They've had successive 1-yard losses, pushing it back to the 5 here on 3rd and goal. Quick throw, juggle, caught. Touchdown, it's Turner again. His 2nd touchdown catch, and we're an extra point away from being tied again.
And how quickly did that ball arrive? Barry had no shot. Boy, that was an absolute laser. Turner now with some huge stats. 8 catches for 126 yards and 2 touchdowns. with 3:12 remaining in the first half, and John Robinson is telling you, see, that's what I just said to you on the sidelines, Holmes. You got it covered. Just throw the ball.
Dillon Pieffer boots the extra point through, and we are tied at 14. 3:13 rather to play here in the first half, and we're tied at 14. Coming up at halftime, the Dodge Different halftime report. Chris will be joined by Bill Curry and Rodney Gilmore, and they'll have the halftime blitz, some hidden video, and smoot points. It's all coming up on the Dodge Different halftime report.
Well, how exciting is it, Steve? Certainly for us in the media, when you predict that somebody's going to do something, they go out and do it. What a terrific half it's been for that young man. Pride of Compton, California. My buddy Frank Wheaton must be thrilled to see this. Turner on the out, catches the short passes, runs over people, gets the mid-range ball in the middle of the field, catches those balls. Again, he's a north-south kind of guy. Check him out on the corner route, slowing down, concentration, able to come up with it. And of course, right there, look at the slant route, how quick the ball got there. This is a great job. Terrific hands by Turner and excellent routes. He's somebody that definitely is going to play on Sundays.
Chitani puts it in the air, and it's Stephen Harris. Harris down the right sideline as a flag comes in, as Harris is brought down at the 27-yard line.
I wish they'd have had one of those when I was playing. What do they call that, the do-rag or the skull cap?
Right. The advantage would be to keep that perm that you had out of your eyes.
That's exactly right. I wish I could have had one of those. But all the time I was sweating, it was on my face. Would have been stylish for me, especially a red one like these guys. Can you imagine that red, silver, and black? That would have been a good look. You know what, though? I tell you what. You catch 8 balls for 126 and 2.
Wear anything you want.
Exactly right.
10 yards.
Exactly right.
Call the foul. First down, Arkansas.
Well, of course, now it's going to be the opportunity for Brew Williams to hold serve, as it were. The two-star receivers are having monster halves. I was about to say monster games. Those are pretty good stats just for a game, but instead in the half alone.
Those averages. Big play, guys. First and 10 now. After the penalty, good overhead shot from the 14-yard line. Here's Hampton with time, now throws. And there was a bump late and an obvious. I thought it was an obvious. The flag come down? Nope. Some contact there, and Williams was the intended receiver.
Might have been a situation where they thought the ball was not catchable. You saw Williams turn around. But again, here's one of the disadvantages, Steve. It's kind of like the Shaq feature. When you're 6'4", 235 and you're a wide receiver and you get bumped or knocked, they're not willing to call it. And you're right there. That certainly is one that, you know, at least for illegal contact downfield, they should have called it, if not interference. Brandon got away with it.
Brings up a second down and 10. Hampton puts it on the ground. Brandon Holmes, not much there. Ahmad Miller made the tackle.
Steve, UNLV might be thinking about using one of the 2 remaining timeouts here, because the third and very long. If Arkansas can't come up with this one, if they run the ball, that is, once it's incomplete, the clock will stop. But the way their offense is going, particularly the Thomas to Turner connection, John Robinson needs to keep an eye on the clock here. And of course, you know what he's saying over there. He's talking to Mason. He's saying, you know what? It's going to be your turn here. Don't lose interest. You're going to get a turn too.
Third down and 9. 2 receivers out to the left for Hampton. Rolling to his right and throwing across the middle. And it is caught for his first down. Sparky Hamilton makes the grab. 26 yards on the play.
Even though up to this point, Hampton had been struggling a little bit with his accuracy, this is a very nice throw. Rolling to his right, and there's only one receiver he could have had a shot at, and that's Hamilton, because he's the only one that was in the vicinity. All the other receivers had come to the other side of the field. Watch as he comes down. Look at the white shirts. Covered underneath. Everybody is vacated except Hamilton, who comes back to the ball, gets his body in front. Thomas does what he can, but he can't drop the other, number 28. Nice job.
Very impressed, Todd, today, really by both passing games. The offensive line providing excellent protection throughout for both quarterbacks and receivers, catching the balls that have been catchable at this point. And they're going out of the ground game, and Brandon Holmes, the ball carrier. Lamar Owens made the stop.
Yeah, and you would think that, Steve, in a bowl game, inevitably what happens is that when you have that 3.5, 4 weeks, 2.5, whatever the distance is between the end of your last game and here, can't get much more even than that in the passing game, as you pointed out, very adroit. That they'd be rusty early on, throwing balls all over the place. You know, there'd be a couple of early sacks. That has not been the case today. Well played.
Second down and 8. Off the play action. Hampton again, all sorts of time, now a little pressure. And obviously threw that one away. And the clock stopped. 60 seconds to play in this first half. Tied at 14. Let's check with Chris Fowler.
Well, Steve, coming up at halftime, we'll talk about the repercussions of the growing number of academic suspensions Fred Smoot, a player Arkansas folks are familiar with, plus the halftime bowl blitz. And you'll enjoy this, the best of hidden video for the 2000 season as Bill Curry and Rod Gilmore join me at halftime, guys.
All right, Chris, thanks. We look forward to that. And again, that's 60 seconds away. 60 football seconds, that'll be. It'll be 20 minutes. Third down and 8 upcoming. Three receivers to the right. They're all bunched up close to the quarterback. The pressure there. And wow, Hampton gets away from it. And the touch pass is behind the intended receiver. And that is Boo Williams, who wanted a call. We'll get one. Kevin Thomas had the coverage. But how did Hampton get away from Tosh Burris?
I was very surprised at that, too. It appeared that he was dead to rights. But again, even though Hampton is not going to make anybody forget Steve Young, he does do a good job here. Tucks the ball underneath, gets a good block there, enabling him to roll to the left. And, of course, the beef downfield, again, I point out the fact that one of the disadvantages of being a big body is you're not going to get these calls. Take a look at Kevin Thomas at the end. There's a bump, a little bit of a bump, but he gets away with it. That's what's called gamesmanship. Nice play by Thomas.
Butler, the punt. Troy Mason on the return. Not much there on the return. We should point out, you're hearing the crowd roaring from time to time. They're taking the ESPN2 feed on the scoreboard here, so they are seeing the replays at exactly the same time you are seeing them. And obviously reacting as they figure there's an idea of what it looks like. A partisan UNLV crowd. I know they're disappointed they did not sell more tickets in the area, especially with the home team in their home stadium involved, but an awful lot of things to do here in Las Vegas.
Well, and certainly those, Steve, I would have to say that the people that are here, they haven't been cheated. It's been a great first half of football, tied up, 35 seconds left, balls being thrown around, big plays being made.
And Thomas will take a knee and look to run out the clock. And we'll see if Arkansas will let him do just that. The Razorbacks do have one timeout remaining.
Well, UNLV has to be happy with themselves here, Steve. It appeared that for a while that Arkansas's physicality was going to win out. They had a couple of big plays and right back in it. Now with a high score.
So we go to halftime here in Las Vegas. Tied at 14. Now let's go to the studio. Chris, Bill, and Rodney, the Dodge different halftime report.
Well, Steve, thank you. Rod and Bill will join me in just a second. Good first half there. Entertaining battles between the receivers and the DBs. Well, Bowl Week on ESPN coming very soon. The biggest names and big games. 12 games in 9 days featuring top talent from the nation's elite conferences. It all begins with the Oahu Bowl. Christmas Eve concludes with the Big Ten SEC Showdown, New Year's Day, and the Outback Bowl. Bowl Week on ESPN and ESPN2. At halftime, one of the offensive stars for the Rebels is Nate Turner. 126 yards receiving, couple touchdowns for tied at 14. And welcome back. UNLV, 211 yards total offense in the first half. A couple of touchdown passes from Jason Thomas. But Arkansas has a couple of Robby Hampton touchdown passes. Pretty good first half. What do you foresee here?
Well, I think when you look at Arkansas, their secondary really struggled in the first half with Nate Turner. Expect them to go to some double coverages in the second half. Short and long on Nate Turner and in and out to try and take him out of the ballgame. They've got to stop him. He's just killing them right now, Coach.
I thought that one of the most foolish things that happened in the first half, if not the most, was Kenny Sandlin's pop on Jason Thomas out of bounds when he wasn't even in the game. Well, Jason responded by spitting in his face, and I'm not sure I wouldn't have done the same thing. But the team responded. The Las Vegas team responded by playing harder and harder. And what they've got now, Arkansas has got a tiger by the tail. These guys from Las Vegas believe they can win. They went to Ole Miss and took Ole Miss into overtime in Oxford this year. And this will be a heck of a game in the second half, Chris.
There's been some jawing. There's been evidence that these teams have developed a dislike for each other in the first 30 minutes. We'll see how that plays out. Mentioned the two Robby Hampton touchdown passes, the counting for the points for Arkansas. Rolls right, flips it across the middle, caught by Stinson. We'll do that.
Halftime in Las Vegas at the Las Vegas Bowl, and the Razorbacks and Rebels are tied at 14. Welcome back. Sam Boyd Stadium, Steve Levy alongside Todd Christensen. Thoughts from Heather Cox in just a little bit. Bit of a surprise. Not that UNLV is tied, but they came in with the 13th best rushing offense in the entire nation. Yet it's really been their passing offense that's gotten the job done.
And I think the quarterback's got to be excited about that, Jason Thomas. Everybody's aware of his ability to run, but 9 for 11, 143 yards and 2 touchdowns. He has had a scintillating first half.
And as for Arkansas, while their quarterback has not been as accurate, he's under 50%, they've got a pretty good passing offense as well.
Very surprised. If you'd have told me at the beginning of the game in the first half he'd have had 21 throws, I thought it was going to be one of those grounded out sort of things with the success of Hampton and, of course, Brew Williams, 5 catches for 83 yards and a touchdown. That's certainly a contributing factor to their success.
Some of the other numbers from the first half. You look at all the passing yards there, and the big play wide receivers, bottom of your screen, getting it done so far. And the kickoff to open second half action. And it's Troy Mason returning it, and he is out at the 25-yard line. Let's go down to the field. Halftime report from Heather Cox.
I had a chance to catch up with both coaches during the half. Coach Robinson very satisfied, not at all worried about the limited running game. He knew with 8 in the box that wouldn't be a priority in today's game. Houston Nutt, he said, we have to continue to contain Jason Thomas. We must do a much better job. Also look for another tight end in there to sort of offset the balance and hopefully get a few more receptions. Back up to you.
All right, Heather, thank you. We'll watch for that as we open up the second half.
Another tight end, huh? I'm down.
After really an entertaining first half. And they pitch it out to the right side. And it's Jeremy Rudolph, the ball carrier, who's got the first down and then some. As Rudolph will pick himself up off the turf after a gain of 18.
Nice change of direction at 5'9", 175 pounds. Rudolph is certainly quick. And with 1,000 yards in the season, there's the cut. There's another one right there, able to get past Caver. Great job in the open field by number 7, and a very auspicious beginning for the offense of UNLV.
Rudolph rushed for 100-plus yards in 5 of the last 6 games, but the amazing thing about that, only one of those games that he had more than 20 carries. A tremendous average down the stretch of the season to get those 100-yard rushing games. Here's Thomas on the move, and Thomas hooks up with Troy Mason. And they're in the Arkansas territory. Eddie Jackson bumped them out after the gain of 12 yards.
Remember in the first series where they had negative yardage, you could see that Thomas came off the field. I'm talking about the first series of the game. With his head dragging a little bit, we took a shot of him. His confidence was down. He didn't feel good. You can't say enough about what confidence can do for a quarterback. Thompson now 10 for 12. He's in a rhythm. He knows what he can do to the secondary here of Arkansas. Arkansas needs to get their running game going once they get the ball back, because the momentum, at least as far as I can see, is all on UNLV's side.
Across midfield now at the 45 of the Razorbacks. They'll pitch it out to the left side. They'll stop and start by Rudolph, and he's going to wind up a big loser on that particular play. Pushed way back, Sasha Lancaster and Carlos Hall on the stop.
And inevitably, when you're one of those quick kind of scat backs, you're not inclined to lower your shoulder and just get it done. Instead, Rudolph he made a bad decision there, trying to get extra yardage. As a result, it is a large loss.
Loss of 9, and I guess if you win, you can celebrate at the strip. But of course, if you lose, you can console yourself on the strip in Las Vegas here. But so far, a grand night for the Las Vegas ball team. Early in the third. Lost a 9 on that last play. Here, second down and 19. Thomas steps up with time, throws across the middle. Looked like he had 2 receivers. It was too high for Nate Turner and too far away for Bobby Nero, the other receiver.
And notice what Arkansas did on that particular play. Suddenly Turner has 2 people around and they opt for the double team. And coming into this game, frankly, I didn't know why they wouldn't have done that early on. The man coming into the game had 64 catches. Mason had 27. You know they're going to go to Turner. Why not put 2 guys on him, make him beat you with somebody else?
Todd, this is UNLV's quarter all season. They have dominated the opposition in the third quarter, outscoring their opponents 92-39. As we look to continue that, but here's a big play on 3rd and 19, pushed back to their side of the field. Here's Thomas thinking about taking off. Flag behind the play, and Thomas is cut down across midfield by Orlando Green.
Give Green some credit. Remember, he was that center fielder that botched that near interception. Holding against UNLV, I'm sure that they're going to decline that. Remember, Green was the one that couldn't quite come up with a great open field tackle on Thomas. I don't think they want to go up unless they want to play the game of field position. I'm thinking they want to say, forget it. Let's make them kick. You don't want to, you know what? You don't want to give a quarterback like that, a run-pass quarterback like that, another opportunity, even at 4th and 29. Make them kick. Third and 29.
Chatani will punt it away to Stephen Harris. Arkansas is playing without Stedman Campbell, who was injured. He's their top punt return guy. So Harris is back trying to make it work along with Richard Smith. Taking their time to get the snap away. It's a low snap, and Chatani can't handle it. And now he is pounded down to the 30-yard line. Great special teams play after Chatani had trouble with the snap. Kevin Baker brought him down. It'll go as a loss for 22.
This is a big play by Kevin Baker. He's made a couple of nice plays on special teams, Steve. He came down and made a couple of big tackles. It took a long time. Yes, it did skip, and it goes through his hands. That is not a good snap. But Baker makes a great play right here because so many times you see the first guy is going to miss. And the long snapper for the Rebels, in this case, Ryan Hansen, just did not get the job done.
So Arkansas will take over now in great field position. They try to get the ground game going with Brandon Holmes. Holmes had just 37 yards rushing in the first half on 15 carries.
Well, again, as we pointed out, this is what they need to do. I would say, Steve, as you and I have discussed so many different times, you're absolutely right. That's a terrible average per catch, but average per run, rather. Even though he's struggling and they need to get the running game established, I'm thinking that after a turnover, come on, air it out. You got them on their heels. Give it a shot. Throw a jump ball to Booth.
2nd down and 7. Quick plant and fire to Richard Smith. He's short of a first down. Amar Briscoe on the side.
Close to the sidelines, that gives Hampton the opportunity to come over and get exactly what it is he wants. Head coach Houston not for the call. That's what he did. He sprinted over to get it. Didn't have to wait for the signals.
Brings up a 3rd down and short situation. Robby Hampton. How big is Heather here in Las Vegas? They welcome her by putting her last name on the field. Amazing. You see Christensen any place here. Handoff to Holmes. And it'd be very close. I think he's short of that first down.
I think you're right. The official jumped right up and put his hand up with the fist, indicating 4th down. They're not even going to measure. Once again, Hampton comes over the sidelines to get the call. I've always been a fan of spreading it out on 4th down. You know, to get those support guys from the back having to go out and cover somebody. Instead, you jam it up, everybody's jammed up.
Here we go, 4th and 1.
See if they can take advantage. And it's Hampton on the keeper, and we'll see where they spot it. Arkansas signaling they've got the first down. Scott Parkhurst was the first man to meet Hampton.
And they give him the first down. You know what, Steve? That was a pretty good push by the offensive line, and I say that because it looked to me like Hampton stumbled a little bit coming out from behind center. Take a look at number 11. Just to call watch. The left leg goes back. Yeah, certainly he trips over the leg of his lineman, but still able to push forward and get the first.
1st and 10 for Arkansas. Looking to take advantage of the bad snap on the punt. And it's Holmes again trying to find some running room. And again, nothing there. Amar Briscoe with his 7th stop of the game already.
If you're at home and you're interested in some very subtle things, notice that Holmes always carries the ball, regardless right or left. He's got it in his left arm. Emmett Smith is like that. They're more comfortable with the ball in their left arm. I remember Franklin Harris was a left-handed guy. But in going to your right, that means you can't stiff arm. You always have to lower the shoulder. And I think that could be a contributing factor as to why his yards per carrier down.
He's got a 2nd down and 11 now. 2 receivers out to the left. Hampton throwing in that direction. Able to complete to Michael Snowden, but nothing doing. Randy Black made the stop.
One of the things that Arkansas does, Steve, in their passing game, unlike UNLV, is that they really want to try hard to protect their quarterback. And what I mean by that is, of course, you want to try hard. But instead of having 4 or 5 people in the pattern, they'll only have 2.
Randy Black, the local kid, came out of a local high school here and is the school's all-time leading tackler. Pretty mature guy as well. He was a dad at the age of 15. Here's a 3rd and 15 now. See Black in the defense to make a big play. He kicks it out to the right. He's going to throw. It's Gerald Howard. Now he's going to tuck it and try to run.
That's a great block downfield by the quarterback, Steve.
And we'll see where they bounce him out. I think he's short of the first down. Hampton looked like he made a block on Briscoe, the corner, to try to help Howard out.
This is the old throwback. Everybody's familiar with it. Now the quarterback's going to go here. Here he's going to try and throw it back, but instead the coverage is there. Take a look. The coverage is downfield. He's got it. Now he runs downfield. What does Hampton do? I think I'll throw a block. That's right. I'm going to throw a block. We saw Drew Brees do it earlier. Look at that. Right on Briscoe, enables him to get the extra yardage, and he can't quite get the first down, but certainly gets him in field goal range.
And here is Brennan O'Donohoe, the true freshman. This will be a 29-yard field goal attempt by O'Donohue. And it is no good. O'Donohoe misses from 29 yards away. A look at the miss. And that's the reason we remain tied at 14 in the 3rd.
Experience Las Vegas the way it used to be while enjoying the luxuries of today. The Golden Nugget. Call 1-800-8-GOLDEN for reservations.
As if you need me to identify which city we're coming here from. Las Vegas, Nevada. Aerial coverage for our game provided by Outback Steakhouse. We thank them for all the pretty pictures tonight from the 9th annual Las Vegas Bowl.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Elvis in the house.
That's Vegas. Come on, I got to give it a shot.
There's Jason Thomas handing it off to Kevin Brown. He stays on his feet for some extra yardage. I have to point out what a great job the UNLV defense did on that stop. Arkansas, off the bad snap on the punt, took over at the UNLV 30. And the Razorbacks have nothing to show for it.
You saw Kevin Brown. The New York Giants this year have been very popular with Tiki Barber and Ron Dane as their thunder and lightning. That's kind of what they're doing here with Rudolph and Brown. Rudolph, the 175 quick guy, then they try and pound him a little bit with the 225-pound Brown.
Brings up a 2nd down and 2. And again, the running game gets them the first down and more. It's Brown again, the ball carrier. J.J. Jones made the stop along with Keith Turner. Let's check in with Heather.
Well, guys, obviously most bowl game sites are neutral for both teams. However, tonight, Arkansas truly is the away team, and UNLV's home field advantage was certainly a concern for this coaching staff. So they brought a little piece of home with them. It's an Arkansas horseshoe. They touch it before and after and during the half. Every time they come out of that locker room, they're hoping it brings them a little luck. Right now, they're hoping it brings them a big-time defensive stand.
A pretty good defensive play there, Heather, by Arkansas, as James Wolford was the ball carrier.
Was it just me, or did that look like that female symbol?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
It looked like a horseshoe.
As if to direct them which restroom they would be allowed to use.
Yeah, something like that. Well,
female,
then again,
look at it.
You and I are from Mars, and, yeah, well, okay.
Home field has been big, though, for UNLV. First time since 77 they've been perfect here at home, Boyd Stadium. Last year, they didn't win a single home game. Second down and 10. It's Brown, the workhorse, all of a sudden now. And he inches closer to midfield. Keith Turner made the stop.
And he's going, hey, where are my shoes?
Heather,
my shoes?
Heather, give me that
Come on, give me that back. What's up? Come on, I can't go home barefoot. It's cold out. Come on, give it back. Is that tough on? That's going to be tough on horses to be on the asphalt, doesn't it?
Never been a horse, Todd. I'm not sure.
Oh, you're a New York City guy. Never mind.
I can canter, though, by the way. English and Western, if you're concerned at home. And I know you are. A little swing pass out into the flat for Wolford, the fullback. Clinton Caver there to make the stop.
And you know, Wolford, I got to give him a lot of credit. They talk about being team guys. This is a genuine team guy. In his first 2 years with UNLV, he's the featured back. He's an 840-yard-a-season guy. John Robinson comes in and says, look, we got to go a different direction. You're going to have to play fullback. He didn't complain, didn't talk about transferring. The 6', 200-pounder said, okay, I'll play fullback. I'll block for you. Play in the special teams, catch some balls. Number 33, a real credit to the Rebels.
Give you an idea what his teammates think of him. The first 10 weeks, they had different captains all season, and the players voted 3 permanent captains, and James Wolford was one of them. Chitani is set to punt it away. Another low snap. Flag flies, and we'll do it again. Almost trouble there for Chitani. Snapping should not be an issue at this point in the season.
Well, Ryan Hansen is really struggling here. That's back-to-back bad snaps for him. And you would think that, on the sidelines after that first one, you'd have taken a couple of practices. But having played that position, Steve, I know sometimes it's like a golf swing, or when you're hitting poorly. No matter what you do, you kind of psych yourself out a little bit. A lot of bad thoughts are running through number 53's head right now.
The previous spot, still 4th down.
This job is so important now, Steve. You very rarely, particularly on the professional level, see everyday players playing. You know how guys that snap for field goals and punts, that's what they're there to do exclusively.
Turned into really a specialty position, almost like the closer in baseball. Another low snap, and Chitani able to get that one away. And it will bounce out of bounds. You see where they mark it. It's like down at about the 19.
Inside the 20. Sweet. Gets it inside the 20 stat.
The Las Vegas Bowl continues.
ESPN2's exclusive presentation of the 2000 Las Vegas Bowl is presented by the Golden Nugget, a Las Vegas favorite for over 50 years. And in part by Morgan Stanley Dean Witter. Move your money. Get well connected. And by 1010-220. Dial it and talk up to 20 minutes for only 99 cents.
Back in Las Vegas, look at Ryan Hansen, a redshirt freshman, the snapper, having all sorts of problems. He's gaining some valuable experience here tonight.
And what he's doing, he's quoting that Fifth Dimension song, although different wording. It's not, I want to take you higher. I want that ball a little higher. Just get it a little higher, like to the waist of the punter.
And then, of course, the fear has to be he's going to adjust too much and overcompensate and snap it over the punter's head. We'll watch the next time he sees the football field. On first down and 10, Arkansas takes over. Robby Hampton trying to go up top for a big one. And he overthrew his intended receiver, Boo Williams. Unfortunately, also overthrew the defender, Sam Brandon.
Flag is down. I don't know if that's holding or roughing the passer. Notice on that play, as you pointed out, Steve, they double-team Boo Williams, just as Arkansas has opted to double-team Turner on the other
Flipping
side.
the passer, defense, 15 yards, previous spot, automatic first down.
There's the pump fake. There's the throw. Ball's long gone. That's a good call by the official. There's no need for that at all. That ended up being Lamar Owens.
Brandon, the player on the coverage there, was a former wide receiver, led the team in tackles in his first season playing safety this year. He was converted to defense in the spring of '99, but he wasn't eligible to play last year, and his coaches voted him as the defensive MVP this season. That's Sam Brandon. Brandon Holmes on the carry. Anton Palapoy made the stop there, and there was, you'd expect, a long snapper, Ryan Hampton.
Boy, he's really psyched out. Can't catch the ball coming back. I tell you what, though, one of the things that happens here, Steve, is it's not unlike anything, any sport. It's one thing to do it in practice when there's no pressure. You can sit there and have all the perfect snaps you want. It's a different situation game when the clock running and the punter's back there. But then again, it still warrants some practice after the two struggles he's had last time.
Through the last three, one was wiped out because of the penalty flag.
That's right. Good point.
Second down and 9. Coming up on 5 minutes to play. There's movement on the left side of the line. Look like Shannon Money might have gotten busted there.
A good name for an actor, isn't it?
Shannon Money.
Isn't it? Not necessarily a left tackle, but then again, Shannon Money has been arguably the best offensive lineman for Arkansas this season.
Sporting News had him on the All-SEC second team, and he's a bright guy as well. Made the SEC academic honor roll.
Do you have a theory as to why that is? No, I don't mean Shannon in particular, but I'm saying offensive linemen.
Why they're all academic?
Well, no, but offensive linemen,
right.
inevitably, when we go and travel, those are the guys that have the high GPAs, offensive linemen. Do you have a theory on that?
No. I'm counting on you to have one.
Well, actually, I do, and I'll get it to you after this play.
Second down and 14. You happen to have a theory standing by. Here's Hampton. Good pass protection till he was get around the backside. Taken down there. Steve Newton brought him down.
A quarterback needs to feel this, and obviously Hampton did not. Newton is coming, and he runs right into him. He's very fortunate he didn't get hurt. He's looking completely to the left side. Here comes Newton. He doesn't see him. Now he goes, I'm going to go. Oh, ouch. Didn't have a feel for number 45 at all. And as I say, he's very fortunate that either the ball didn't come out or he wasn't more seriously injured.
Newton is part of that five-man rotation at defensive end for UNLV, and the sacks now all even. On 3rd and 19, try to counter the pass rush with the draw play to Brandon Holmes. And they come up well shy of the first down. Tyler Brickle made the stop.
Well, under John Robinson, the defense has improved markedly over the last couple of seasons. You can see the points per game allowed by the defense heading into this year. 108, you can't give up 35 points a game. And obviously, that's why you go 0-11. But now down to 22. And, of course, on the other side of the ball, it helps when your team scores over 28 per game.
Watch the snap for Arkansas. Ryan Hansen might be watching as well, maybe pick up a pointer or two, as Richie Butler is ready to punt it away at the 15. A bit of a high snap. Butler had to move to his left, but gets it away. Troy Mason is back for it at his own 30. Mason reverses the field, cuts up the middle, and then is slammed down hard to this natural grass, Sam Boyd Stadium, at the 45-yard line. It's a 45-yard punt and a 19-yard return.
If Jermaine Petty doesn't come up with his tackle, it could be that Mason goes the difference. Instead, pow, he drops him down. Still good field position.
There's a look at Shannon Money. We told you, the SEC Academic Honor Roll member. And we go from Money to a guy who got a 4.0 in finance, John Greer. Everybody's patiently awaiting your theory, Todd, on offensive linemen being so bright.
Well, here's my theory on that, and that is when you're a star player.
As Thomas is airing it out, and he overthrows his intended receiver, Troy Mason.
When you're a star player, you have a lot of other things going on. If you're a wide receiver, quarterback, running back, you got stuff going on. People are calling you, girls are coming to the house, you got parties to go to. When you're an offensive lineman,
right,
you are not afforded that opportunity. And people always refer to you. You hear it on the broadcast all the time. Oh, they're the big uglies, they're the hogs at Al. And so as a result, to play offensive line, you have to have a high threshold of boredom. And that doesn't that personify studying? That personifies studying.
Sure. You got nothing else to do.
Over and over again, as we go, we see guys that are 3.6s, 3.5s, 3.8s, and they're always tackles, guards, and centers. A lot of credit goes to the offensive linemen. Great students.
Well, there you go. A theory worth waiting through the commercial for. As Rudolph is the ball carrier, and Rudolph hit from behind just across midfield. Not a bad name around the holiday season either, Rudolph. 3:10 to go here in the third quarter, tied at 14.
He may not have the red nose, but it could have been bloody because he just got whacked. If you get a chance to look at the Morgan Stanley, Dean Witter, well-connected storyline. Rushing yards, UNLV has picked up here in the second half, Steve, with 82. Missed field goals have been a big issue here on both sides of the ball. And, of course, the wide receivers had tremendous first half, but up to this point, Steve, in the second half, have not caught a ball.
Off the 3rd down and 4, and the flag on the play.
Before the snap, full start, offense. 5 yards to the previous spot. Still 3rd down.
Never fails, does it? We were talking about how in the first half, offensive momentum moving up and down, and here we are now over 12 minutes removed in the third quarter, and the offense is struggling. Give credit to the defensive coordinator for making adjustments in the second half.
On 3rd down and 9, Thomas goes play action and looks to air it out. Shows off the gun, got a man. What a throw! Troy Mason, and the throw was perfect. Touchdown, and UNLV has its first lead in the football game. A 54-yard bomb, Thomas to Mason.
What an arm he has, and remember what we talked about before. He rolls to his left, throws across his body to the right. Boy, oh boy, what an arm Thomas has. Remember the conversation that we pointed out earlier with John Robinson and Mason. You're going to get your turn, pay attention, hang in there. That's exactly what he did. What a throw.
Dillon Pieffer was able to put through the extra point.
Where are his feet when he throws this ball? It looks like he's about to. You were right, Steve. What a throw! Right on the money. Down to about the 2 or 3 yard line. Does not break stride. Look at the coverage is excellent. Just misses it. That's got to be frustrating. The coverage was not that bad. Number 38, Derek Johnson, right there. But the throw is right on the money. Thomas, you're right, partner. That was some kind of throw.
Todd, we also should point out on the extra point, Ryan Hansen's the snapper as well, and that snap was perfect. So maybe he's getting it back in gear. But Jason Thomas now, and there's Ryan, a positive pop for him, and you can see getting some congratulations, maybe get a little more confidence back. Jason Thomas, the quarterback, 12 of 16 for 217 yards and 3 touchdowns tonight.
Don't forget, Steve, one of the things that has to be frightening to the Mountain West coaches, that young man right there, only a sophomore.
And now the kickoff, and Stephen Harris for Arkansas. And he is taken down by a group of fired-up Rebels at the 18-yard line. Ross Dalton led the way.
One of the things that we have stressed over and over again is the athleticism of number 2 and his ability to throw from a variety of angles and still get the ball on the money. The strength of his arm, going to his right and throwing that ball. And again, to his right, the left-hander is able to launch the ball downfield 55 yards and get the interception. And, of course, here once again, that great slant route, how quickly that ball is delivered.
1st and 10 for Arkansas, facing their first deficit of this football game. Here's Robby Hampton firing across his body and completing And it's good for a first down to Michael Snowden. Sam Brandon brought him down after the gain of 14.
And you're at home saying to yourself, if you're an Arkansas fan, what happened to our running game? Well, in the first series, Holmes had 8 carries for 26 yards. Since then, 10 carries for 13 yards. And as a result, Arkansas has had to go to the passing game. They moved the pocket a little bit. Snowden finds the dead spot in the zone. 14-yard first down for the Hogs.
There's Holmes. They expected an awful lot from him, maybe too much. Again, when you consider he's the 4th-string running back at the start of fall camp. On the ground again, it's Holmes trying to push the pile. Tyler Brickle made to stop the linebacker, and again, the snapping continues on the sideline.
Going to make sure. And don't forget, Steve, you mentioned that with regards to the extra point. It's much easier to snap the ball 7 to 8 yards than it is to have your head completely between your legs and snap the thing back there 14 or 15.
That last snap was interesting on the sideline by Hampton. I don't know if you saw it. He did it to the side without crouching down.
One of the things
without putting it through his legs.
He's trying to get the spin on the ball. You can see that over the head. He's trying to get, when the hand is between like this, that's why I couldn't wear stickum when I was snapping. You had to have your hands loose so you got that spin.
Really affected your career, I see, huh? You might have had, what, one more catch? And that ball is thrown out of bounds. Williams, the intended receiver for Robby Hampton, was just throwing it away. He was under siege by Randy Black.
Well, what the point I was trying to make is that your hands could not afford to be sticky when you were snapping. They could be when you catch. Now, as you pointed out, third down. I've noticed, you know, I mentioned that earlier when Hampton came over to the sidelines. I noticed that he did it when they were close to the sidelines, but he does it constantly now. Evidently, maybe the directions or some of the signals they're giving are a little bit too complex.
The sophomore quarterback is UNLV trying to get the home fans fired up on a 3rd down and 4. Final minute of the 3rd quarter. It's been a terrific football game. The Las Vegas Bowl from Las Vegas, Nevada. Here's Hampton rolling to his right. Robby Hampton throws, and it's tipped away. Good tip by Randy Black. Got his hand on the football, and that should come as no surprise. The all-conference player making the play the strong safety.
Once again, Steve, very difficult when you only have 2 receivers in the pattern. That shouldn't have counted anyway. You saw the left foot go out of bounds, but that's a great play by Black, making Williams step out of bounds, null and void. 4th down now for the Hogs.
Black has had a hand problem this season. Broke his hand against Wyoming. Missed 7 quarters of action. Returned to have a 10-tackle football game, and flags fly there. And the foot coming up on the final half minute of the 3rd quarter.
Kevin Baker's just mistimed that completely.
That'd be your halo penalty?
Yeah. But then you could actually call, well, I was going to say, you could actually call this personal foul. Right. But that's what the official opts to.
Not respecting the 2 yards by any stretch.
You saw him pat himself on the chest and say, my bad. That's redundant. That goes without saying.
Personal foul. Interference is opportunity to make a catch on the offense at 15-yard penalty. First down.
You saw Houston Nutt pat him on the butt and say, well, you know what, we want you to be aggressive, but we want you to think too. Right there, you got to wait. You know you got to wait. There's no excuse, and Baker knows it. Unfortunately for Mason, he didn't get hurt, and that was a good punt. He says, come on, what are you going to do with my net? Knock it off.
Richie Butler's an excellent punting game, averaging 47 yards tonight. First down and 10. For Las Vegas, and it's Kevin Brown, the ball carrier. And Brown trying on the left side, able to knife through a hole. A.J. Jones attack there.
A lot of pressure here as you see Hampton a little bit frustrated with that last series, and now he's put some pressure on his defense to have to come out and stop UNLV, and after that bomb, you know that the motivation has to be strong on the part of the UNLV Rebels to put this thing away.
You mentioned the defense, and the defensive coordinators deserve credit, certainly for Arkansas. Bobby Allen, the co-defensive coordinator, along with John Thompson. Well, Thompson started calling the defense prior to the game at Mississippi State, and they went on to win the last 2 games against top 25 teams. The defense has responded nicely. 3 quarters complete in the Las Vegas Bowl. And Las Vegas leads by 7.
ESPN's 2001 Almanac. A great holiday gift in bookstores and experience Las Vegas the way it used to be, while enjoying the luxuries of today. The Golden Nugget. Call 1-800-8-GOLDEN for reservations.
Only after 2 nights in Las Vegas, I had just enough for cab fare to get to Sam Boyd Stadium. Steve Levy, Todd Christensen, and Heather Cox from the Las Vegas Bowl in Las Vegas, Nevada. We told you UNLV owns the third quarter. Arkansas very strong here in the fourth. So the Rebels' dominant quarter saw them go up by 7 with a touchdown. We'll see what the Razorbacks can do here. And it's a run play. It's James Wolford breaking away, getting some blocks downfield. And Wolford opens up the fourth quarter in stunning fashion down to the 18 of the Razorbacks. A 40-yard run by Wolford.
Kenny Hamblin is the one that ends up making the tackle. Good misdirection and penetration on the part of UNLV to get the separation. Watch the umpire, though, right here, and watch what ends up happening. Now, he backs up a little bit. He actually, right there, you can see he shields Hamlin. And the result is that he's able to get some extra yardage. Hamlin eventually will run him down, but that might have cost him, say, 5 to 10 yards on that particular run.
And we told you how unselfish Wolford is. He's 64 yards shy of tying Ickey Woods for 5th all-time rushing yards in UNLV history. Todd does the Ickey shuffle here.
Great.
Mike Thomas, by the way, is number 1 on that list. Here's Jason Thomas throwing and nearly intercepted. Orlando Green, who's been around the football all night, nearly made that pick.
Remember, Orlando Green is the one that should have had that pick earlier, and that would have been huge for Arkansas. That's one of the few really bad throws that Thomas has had in this game.
Speaking of former UNLV stars, of course, Thomas follows in a long line of great quarterbacks to come out of Nevada, Las Vegas. Randall Cunningham. And our own Kenny Mayne. You know, I had heard that rumor.
Randall Cunningham.
Sure. I'd heard that rumor. I had to go to the guide, and Kenny Mayne is, in fact, listed as a quarterback at UNLV for 3 years. As Kevin Brown carries towards the left side and is run out of bounds by Eddie Jackson.
You know what? You know why you mentioned that? Because you want to be a contestant on the 2-minute drill, don't you? Just the fact that you knew that would have given you qualifications to be on there.
They're down to 3 finalists tied, 2 tied in the 2-minute drill. There's the quarterback rushing all time. There's Cunningham. Where's Mayne? I guess we'd have to go down to number 6. Unfortunately, our statistics do not go back that far.
Glenn Carano, the man at the top, is a former teammate of mine with the Dallas Cowboys.
On 3rd down and 7. Can you imagine a huddle with Kenny Mayne in it calling the play? How funny would that be? On 3rd down and 7, here's Thomas going to take off. He spins off 1 tackle and is knocked down by another down to the 9-yard line. J.J. Jones is 9th tackle.
This is going to be an interesting decision here because it's 4th and very short. John Robinson normally I think is a little bit conservative because here I think you want to go up 2 scores, don't you? And that's got to be a gimme field goal, about a 26, 27-yarder right in the middle of the field. But maybe John Robinson saying maybe we should go for the kill here.
Pieffer, Todd, is 4 for 4 from 30 yards and out. 38, though, is his longest of his career. He hasn't attempted anything longer than 38, so certainly within his range. So the field goals have been a problem. We've had 2 attempts tonight. Both kickers have missed once.
He said it, field goal. You can read his lips. Well, then again, you know what? I think this is a good decision. I think it's very easy up here to say, what are you talking about? 6 inches, just go. But then again, if for whatever reason the quarterback slips, something happens, and said, you want the automatic here. Arkansas has struggled here in the second half offensively. You want to make them go with 2 scores and tie you.
He's 6 of 7 from field goals. He's missed a 27-yarder. Low snap there, and it goes through anyway. Dillon Pieffer getting the job done as the Rebels' snapping woes continue. UNLV by 10. Couldn't really call this an upset should UNLV hang on to win, but out of the little Mountain West Conference, only 3 teams making a bowl game against Arkansas, to the mighty SEC, a record 9 SEC teams in bowl games this year. But right now, UNLV leads by 10. Razorbacks will get it with Stephen Harris trying to return it. Harris Runs into a pile of red shirts, and he is pushed back to the 21-yard line by Ross Dalton.
Well, Steve, I would think it would be an upset. I would have to say that. Not only, as you mentioned, 9, look at that, 9 from the SEC, but also heading into this game, Arkansas against Mountain West teams with 6-0. 6-0. So, yeah, I think even though it's home field advantage for UNLV, I think if they hang in there and win, it's an upset.
I mean, that really says something about the SEC, right? You finish in 9th place in your conference, and you make a bowl game. Shows you how powerful that conference is. Maybe not at the top, but top to bottom, there he is. As Holmes is running away from the pile. The first time he has really broken one today. Brandon Holmes for 37 yards.
And Nathan Ball, the tight end, is not aware with Holmes on the field. Take a look as he breaks through. You're going to watch number 82 downfield. He breaks at the line of scrimmage. Now watch him cut back to the middle. Watch number 82. He doesn't see him. He doesn't see him right here. And he could have cut this guy off right there. Instead, he doesn't see him. And the result is number 47 for UNLV, Anton Talapoy, is able to catch him from behind. If he's paying attention, maybe he can cut him off and he goes the distance.
Here's Hampton handing it off again to Holmes. And that's been more of the common result for Holmes this afternoon. Ryan Claridge making the stop.
Are you a Karate Kid fan by chance? Those of you out there watching?
1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, and 3. Yeah.
Why would you bring that up, Todd?
I don't know. I had this urge all of a sudden. I had this urge to stretch out and do a front kick.
The actor Pat Morita from Karate Kid is in attendance tonight here at the Las Vegas Bowl. Here's Hampton now off play action with all sorts of time, throwing across the middle, and it is nearly intercepted and likely should have been picked off by Kevin Thomas, considered the best cornerback in the Mountain West Conference.
And Kevin Thomas needed to not backhand the ball right at the end of the play. Watch as he does, instead of cradle the ball. He's got it right here, cradle ball. Instead, he tries to backhand it. Watch the right hand on top of the left. Instead, if he cradles the ball and bodies it between the 2 and 8, he intercepts, and Hampton knows, ooh, I got a break there. Did I mention to you that my son busted up Kevin Thomas? The BYU played UNLV?
No, you left that part
right
out.
out of bounds. Yeah, in the block.
Say we don't have any video of that here.
Of his bulging disc?
3rd down and 10. Try to get me off my game here. Coming out in here's Hampton now. Get some pressure up the middle. Hampton lofts one, and that too should have been intercepted. Hampton getting all sorts of breaks. That time Sam Brandon should have picked that one clean. Let's go down to the field. Here's Heather.
Well, guys, Anton Talapoy, the defensive end, is out right now, has a dislocated middle finger on that left hand. They did just reset it. Still don't know whether or not he'll be able to go back in for the last 12.5 minutes of this ball game.
Heather, that's a key. Thanks. He is tied for second in the conference with 8 sacks at 12 tackles for losses to lead his team this season.
See, 4th and 10 here at the 38, down by 10 with 12:29 remaining. I don't know about this. I really don't. This might be a little early to be going for it.
This might be the ball game is what it might be as well. With 3 on the play clock, here's Hampton rolling out, buying himself time. There's a flag behind the play as a pass incomplete. Looked like Derek Olson, I beg your pardon, Kevin Thomas got a hand on it to bat it away, but a flag behind the play.
Well, it was holding against Arkansas, and they'll let it go. They'll refuse and take over on downs there at the 37. And you know something that we haven't seen, Steve, that I'd be into that would be very effective for Arkansas, and for that matter for UNLV. Has either team thrown a screen pass? We're so used to seeing a lot of screens throughout it, and we haven't seen a single one. The first time it comes up, I bet it's going to go away.
Hampton has now missed on his last 5 passing attempts. Jason Thomas puts the helmet on and straps up the chin strap, ready to go to work. And they're trying to work on the clock as well. With less than 12.5 to play in the 4th, and UNLV leading by 10. They take over. 1st and 10 now from the 37-yard line. 2 receivers to the right. And James Wilford drops back into the backfield. They hand it off to Wilford. He had the big game before, and he tries the left side. Again, a flag. Eddie Jackson made the tackle.
And when the referee throws the flag back there, you know it's going to be holding. Interesting play there in terms of the timing as we get a chance to see the great pass rusher, Talapoy, who Has the index finger, that's difficult, boy, and especially if you're in a left-handed stance, Steve. If you got to put that down. I remember dislocating a thumb and having to get to push off my palm, and that becomes that much more difficult.
10 yards, spot of the foul, still first down.
Jason Thomas, who's had himself a fine ball game here tonight. What do you think of this comparison with Michael Vick from a season ago? Thomas playing out west here, doesn't get a whole lot of attention. A transfer in his first year playing college ball, but the numbers are eerily similar.
Very impressive, and I'm particularly impressive with this young man's arm. He's shown a lot.
Thomas pitching to Jeremy Rudolph. Sorry, Todd. Rudolph bounces off a careful second effort, going down the sideline. Will he be cut from behind? He is. Thomas to Rudolph, and Jermaine Petty brought him down. Corey Harris had a chance at it, but missed the tackle. And Rudolph, a gain of 45.
Well, he showed how strong he was, even at 175 pounds. Now watch as he cuts to the outside. Great lead block on the part of Wolford. As he bounces off some people, shows his power. Harris should have had him. Now watch at the end. Watch here. It appears that he's going to get collared here by number 40, Jermaine Petty, but it doesn't happen. Look at this. Come on, go down, go down, go down. If you don't want to, all right, keep going. How about now? How about now? He keeps going. Very impressive for the 5'9", 175-pounder, but clearly, if you have 1,005 yards on the season, you are a persistent sort.
By far, Rudolph's best carry of the game. And it comes at a good time for UNLV. Flags fly again. Thomas puts it in the air. He's throwing it away. And flags really piled up here in the second half.
Well, you made reference to Michael Vick earlier in terms of the comparisons, and everybody obviously big guys that are left-handed, but the arm strength is the thing. Take a look at this throw down the field. That ball that Turner was able to knife under, and this one just right on the money. Look at this. He throws from the 38-yard line, and the ball's caught right at around the 2. That's 60 yards in the air, right on. I mean, just, oh, man, fun to watch.
10 of 11 games this season, Thomas had a passing touchdown. 8 of 11 games, he had a rushing touchdown. Dealing with a foot injury that he injured way back in high school. We're talking about trying out for the Running Rebels, UNLV's basketball team, but he said he'll wait until well after this bowl game to make that decision.
What position you play if you're 6'4", 240?
Boy, in college ball, it's maybe a swingman type thing. They hand it off to Jeremy Rudolph. And he is brought down at the 15. He's not big enough to play power forward at 6'4".
No, but he'd be good enough to lead block for Rudolph or do whatever he needs to now. And clearly Arkansas's defense at this point, Steve, is very fatigued. And they're disappointed. The offense has not been able to get things going. UNLV's excitement, running and passing the ball now. They're moving the ball down the field. Arkansas desperately needs to stop here, Steve, to keep the game within a 2-touchdown situation.
Rudolph limped off. He's being attended to now. The Arkansas defense played so well in that finale against LSU that made them bowl eligible. They held LSU scoreless for the last 3 quarters. Held Josh Booty 6 of 27. They need to rally here. Here's Thomas. Got plenty of green in front of him. Jason Thomas now. Little east-west instead of north-south. And the flag comes late as he was bumped out at about the 8-yard line.
Very late, right at the end of the play. Nate Turner comes back and tries to get a block for him. The official in the middle of the field decided that was a block in the back, and so they're going to move this one back. Right at the end of the play, Nate Turner's trying very hard to do what he needs to do, but of course when you got your quarterback, here he comes, number 6 right here, right at the end of the play. Well, that's awfully close. Very, very close from the angle. Take a look at DeAndre Berry right there. Well, that's a close call by the official. That's one they could have let go, and of course that's what he's questioning it too. What's the deal? Cheer for me, you guys. Tell them they're wrong, but then again, guys in the striped shirt always have the last say.
It's got 11 penalties for 105 yards now for UNLV, and they're winning the game by 10.
Very impressive. Got to give some credit to that offensive line for the Rebels. We talked about early on how they struggled a little bit in trying to protect Thomas and open some holes for the runners. Now they've been able to do exactly that here in the second half. And I would have anticipated that would have been Arkansas's forte, that they were supposed to wear down UNLV. It's been the other way around.
Here's Thomas. Get it to the second man through. It's Wilson as he's pounded down. And that offensive line that you talk about for the Rebels, Todd, all five have started every game at the same position all season. So clearly a cohesive unit.
It's a good close on the part of Arkansas's defense. It appeared that there was a pretty good hole here for Wolford. At the misdirection, has the guard in front of him, but he cuts back instead of staying to the outside. And as a result, number 22, Tony Bua, bandit back, is able to drop him.
What a contrast in the injury department. We mentioned the 23 injuries for Arkansas really being banged up, and then we tell you, for UNLV that 8 of the 11 positions on offense has had the same starter in every single game. Jeremy Rudolph checks back in and gets the football and fumbles the football.
Oh, what a break.
And he got a break by it bouncing right back to him. And you see nearly a big break for Arkansas as they were able to try to come up with a loose football.
Tony Bua can't believe it, but of course, when you're in that situation, you're trying to make a tackle, not recover a fumble. He steps up, thinks he's going to make the tackle. The ball bounces to him, but he can't get it. Comes off his fingers, and you're right. Very fortunate.
I'm not sure he ever had it, Todd.
Yeah, he did, right there at the end.
And then off the handoff from the quarterback.
Oh, okay. Well, you're probably right.
Bring up a 3rd and 13. UNLV, 220 yards rushing again. They came in as the number 13 rushing offense in the nation. They had 24 rushing touchdowns this season, 10 more than the previous 2 seasons combined. UNLV, they still lead by 10.
Whose exclusive presentation of the 2000 Las Vegas Bowl is presented by Las Vegas. What you want, when you want, 24 hours a day. And in part by Chrysler. We're reinventing the passion for driving.
It's the first ever meeting between UNLV and Arkansas, and in a scheduling quirk, they'll actually meet 2 times in a row now all of a sudden. They will play the season opener on September 1st in Little Rock. The Rebels' previous coach, Jeff Horton, had set it up to go against his old school. And now, in fact, UNLV is his old school. Handoff. And the football is late, and let's see.
Steve, it's exactly the same thing as you pointed out last time. He never got it. It appeared to me that Thomas is trying a little bit too hard to be too clever with the handoff, trying to fool people in the secondary. And the result is Rudolph could not come up with it.
That's the first turnover of the game.
Here it is right there. Now, does he get it?
Never.
No, he never does. He's trying to get it in the so-called breadbasket. Instead, it's in his hands. And, of course, the recovery for Arkansas, exactly what they needed now, down 10, with a little over 9 minutes remaining.
And we talked about J.J. Jones, that no one wants to play in a bowl game more than he did. He had that fumble recovery. Man, is he making up for lost time? He's got a sack, 9 tackles, and a hurry. And he's given his offense the football back. Down 10, 9 minutes to play. Let's see what Arkansas can do. And there's your screen out to the right. So Michael Snowden and goes for maybe a gain of 2 on the play. And the Arkansas offense looking to get something going. You see this half, just 79 yards, and a half dominated by the UNLV offense.
Well, one thing that I've noticed from the fans, I haven't heard a lot of boo, boo. They need to get him the ball. They need to get number 23 the ball. Whether it's a hitch like that or a slant, got to get him involved. Get the ball in number 23's hands.
He was very much involved in the first half. He was tied at 14 all. UNLV the only points of the second half. On 2nd down and 6. Off play action. Hampton in trouble. And he's taken down by a host of players led by Ahmad Briggs.
Randy Black comes off the corner. He was the man in front of Boo Williams. He blitzes from the corner. That forces Hampton to come out of the pocket, and that creates the sack.
Briggs had 7 sacks during the regular season. And he adds to it here in the postseason in the bowl. See UNLV and the difference in sacks. 30 this season. Last season they had just 15 and they doubled it. It's an amazing number. Bring up a 3rd and 8 after the sack. 5 wide receivers in for the Razorbacks now. Out of the shotgun. Here's Hampton. Out to the left side. Completes to Richard Smith, and he is brought down shy of the first down. Sharif Hamilton, the strong safety, made the stop.
This has got to be frustrating for head coach Houston Nutt. They get what they want. They get the turnover, and instead now they're forced with a 3 and out, but I don't think they're going to punch, Steve. Doesn't look like it. Well, I tell you what, back-to-back, going for the 4th down. I mean, that's...
Hey, this is the place to gamble if you're going to do it. Why? We're in Las Vegas? Oh. This is the Las Vegas Bowl. Stay with me here, partner. Arkansas will call timeout. Don't want to make a mistake here. They're first of the second half. 4th down. We come back. If you're just joining us on ESPN2, you've come at a good time. It's a 4th down and 3. Arkansas trailing by 2 scores, and they're going for it deep in their own territory. Robby Hampton, the quarterback, calling signals from his shotgun. Here's Hampton with time, fires, and it is incomplete. Batted away. Gerald Howard, the intended receiver. Toss Burris knocked it away, and Arkansas turns it over on down.
See, what they did is they did something that's called all hooks. Everybody who's out there in the receiver just sits down in the short, and this is what they did. Take a look right here. Everybody's going to hook up right here, and the coverage is going to be on top of them. Everybody with the short route. Who's open on the short route? UNLV does a great job. Look at that. All within about 6 yards. They do a great job of covering everybody downfield. Good job by the defense by the Rebels here in the second half.
They've done a great job. It's 7.5 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Arkansas had 5 possessions and 0 points to show for it. 1st down and 10. Look at the Rebels trying to take some time off the clock, and they put it on the ground to Kevin Brown. J.J. Jones, the tackler.
Did they call that a fumble? Evidently they did.
You heard the late groan from the crowd. I thought he was already down.
Well, where are they going to mark it? They marked it where the guy got the extra yardage. Peter Tremontanis, their center, former starting tight end. How many tight ends have moved to center? How bizarre is that? But he heads up on the spot. Watch at the end of the play. You just assume that his momentum has stopped, right? Okay. All right, he's down. No big deal. Wait a minute. The ball gets stripped. Great job on the part of number 24 for Arkansas. That's Corey Harris. But look at Tremontanis. Yeah, I can still run. I'm still a skill player. Moving back tight end. Oh.
Tremontanis got an honorable mention for all conference. We give another honorable mention right there, recovering a loose football on 2nd down and 3. And hand it off to Brown on the right side. And Corey Harris to stop as the clock stops for now at 6:32. College football, the Capital One Bowl week will continue at the Gallery Furniture Houston Bowl here on ESPN2 Wednesday at 8 Eastern. East Carolina and Texas Tech from the Astrodome. East Carolina finished the year at 7-4. We got a good up-close and personal look at David Garrard. Guy's a good quarterback.
What is up with these quarterbacks now that are just huge? We're seeing huge quarterbacks.
Huge, and I remember the long ball and great touch out of the big man as well.
Not unlike the quarterback here. The other thing I remember is against West Virginia when he ran over the goal line, ran over 3 guys. Remember that they all fell flat and he stood up?
The flag comes down on the play again. And the second half, it has had just a ton of yellow hankies as Thomas tried to keep it, and Petty brought him down.
Steve, UNLV had 3 straight plays there with fumbles. 3 straight plays. They're having a hard time just running this thing out. Once again, if Arkansas can somehow get a turnover, 6 minutes remaining, only down 10.
John Robinson, let's keep that clock moving. Guys, I used to be in the NFL. The all-time winningest coach in Rams history.
That is impressive, isn't it?
Took the Rams to 2 NFC title games.
Is that right? What year?
I have to look it up.
You have that 85, 89?
I'll stop reading off your piece of paper.
You know I'm not reading. I'm looking you right in the eye when I said that.
Going to the cheat sheet. How embarrassing.
Chicago in 85 and 89. Of course, I was playing once, so I would have been paying attention.
At the top of my head,
weren't you still playing right wing for the Oswego State
national title in 78?
What's their nickname? I forgot.
In 76 and in 79, USC finished 2nd in the nation. Here's Thomas handing it off to Brown. Got a seam, and he's got 6. Touchdown. Kevin Brown untouched. And that might seal it for UNLV as the faithful go wild here in Las Vegas.
He's coming into this game. UNLV was averaging 228 yards rushing per game, and that's one of the things that I thought coming in. No way they're going to do that. They did that against Mountain West foes. Had a tough defense coming in Arkansas. Again, you got to give UNLV a lot of credit here. And John Robinson, what a job he has done with this program. 2 years ago, 0-11, now on the verge of being victors, which would be their third straight bowl victory, as you pointed out earlier.
Pieffer, the extra point connects. 5:39 to go. And UNLV looking to remain perfect on their home turf here in the Las Vegas Bowl. John Robinson trying to put his mark on what would be a real successful season for UNLV. And you see the highest percentage in Division I among all coaches that have coached at least 8 bowl games. And he's looking to improve on that with just over 5.5 to play.
John Robinson, what a great career he has had. And I'm thinking to myself that this has got to be a guy, I could have played for him. That would have been fun to play for him. In fact, he was on the sidelines a couple of games I was playing in the old days when the Raiders were in Los Angeles.
You're on the Howard, Dave.
The kickoff, and Stephen Harris, the short kick, trying to take it from the 10 and give Arkansas something to work with, but not much there. He is tackled down at the 21 by Jamal Wynn.
The fact that this young man is only a sophomore.
Now you know who we are.
There's every reason to hoot and holler. Had a great game.
UNLV putting 24 unanswered points.
Everybody knows.
Interesting thing here with regards to the success of Thomas and some of the other Southern California players here. I think this is going to be, it's got to do wonders for the recruiting for UNLV. You know,
I was just thinking, we're talking about John Robinson. What a recruiter he must be. You've got to figure the father knows about Robinson from his days. And as a kid, you got a chance to come to Las Vegas for college. I think it's all good for the UNLV program. Under John Robinson, Brandon Holmes is trying to get some yards back. And the clock will run down to 5:20. As they move the chains, then they'll start the clock back up. And Brandon made the stop.
Well, this will give Hampton a chance to experiment a little bit more with their 4 and 5 wide receiver packages, something they didn't do early in the game.
Hampton under pressure, stepping up. Cuts it back, looking to pick up some extra yardage, and then stumbles down at the 45. Should UNLV hang on to mark their first 4-game winning streak since 1984. And again, just their 3rd bowl game ever. And 2nd and 2. Hampton pumps once, trying to get out of the way, and throws it out of bounds as he was being chased by Anthony Suggs and Adrian Watson.
You can see right here, you can see the frustration. You just saw number 23 as you go to Santa.
I thought there was frustration on Santa.
Boo Williams is frustrated, but Santa's not. He says, hey, a couple of days, I got you covered. Couple of days. A lot of gifts.
Eric Grubb, our cameraman.
What do you
dress up for?
Did you pick out something special? Just whisper to me. Did you get something special for somebody? Or are you getting something? What do you want?
Not here, Todd. What? Are you kidding? I want to continue this football game.
No, I understand.
Brandon Holmes, the ball carrier.
Holmes getting a couple extra yards here. And they're going, I'll be interested next year. Of course, we mentioned Cedric Cobbs, their outstanding tailback beginning of the season. Cotton Bowl MVP from last year. He's the one that was injured. But it's been all Thomas tonight. It's been all UNLV.
Back in Las Vegas, and so far it's a dominating effort, up 31-14. We talked about the conference, on the Mountain West against the mighty SEC. That has to be considered a surprise.
It really does, and especially here in the second half. I would have never anticipated the UNLV would rush for 180 yards in the second half.
And again, it's Brandon Holmes, the ball carrier. And the crowd continues to get into it. We talked about the fruits of the recruiting. One was a good article in the paper written today. Hey, come out and support UNLV locally because people watching across the country on ESPN2 might encourage a recruit or two. It worked in the past during UNLV's glory basketball days. The great crowds ahead of Thomas and Mack.
And, of course, Also, to parallel that, they had a very well-known head coach, of course, in Jerry Tarkanian. Now they've got John Robinson, who has a history of success. It would be great, I think, for this community if they could pull that off.
As play continues, 4:20 left to play here in the fourth quarter. What has turned into be a dominant second half by the Rebels. Rudolph, the ball carrier there again. Let's go down to the field and rejoin Heather.
Guys, there was certainly a feeling of David versus Goliath this week, the Mountain West versus the mighty SEC, as you mentioned, but there is a lot of West Coast and Mountain West pride down on this UNLV bench right now. A lot of people say, now you know who we are, SEC.
Well, of course, that gets them off the schneid, as it were, against Arkansas, as we pointed out earlier, 6-0 against Mountain West Conference opponents. And as Heather points out, I think that some of the lesser conferences have that mentality, have a chip on their shoulder. It's a great opportunity for them to show their wares against the big boys.
Handoff to Wolford, who's had himself a terrific ball game, and among all the positives to come out of UNLV, about protecting their home turf and developing a home field advantage. First of all, as you look at some of the distractions for any visiting team in any sport that comes to Las Vegas, but last year they were winless at home here. And here, it appears they'll be perfect for the first time since 1977.
Well, remember the interview with John Robinson talking about preparing for bowl games, and certainly whatever it is he had working for his team, it certainly has worked this evening. And I think one of the things that you have to give credit to, and this is difficult sometimes for a head coach, is to have a team that's relaxed and just having fun. And that appears to be the case for the Rebels this evening.
Third down and 10. They keep it on the ground as Jeremy Rudolph. Or it looks like a loss there. Corey Harris and Jim Ed Reed made the stop. The Jeep Oahu Bowl will kick off Capital One Bowl Week on Christmas Eve. 24th ranked Georgia against Virginia. We'll have that for you. Todd and myself, along with Dave Ryan from Hawaii, Sunday, 8:30 Eastern. Both coaches coaching in their final game, a variety of circumstances. But George Welsh from Virginia, Jim Donnan of Georgia. That should make for one entertaining football game in the Oahu Bowl.
And I'll see you at Kailua Beach, Holmes.
I look forward to that. Tough to tell folks you're working. They say, where are you going? And you say Hawaii.
Exactly right.
You get the traditional snicker. And the showgirls on hand here at the Las Vegas Bowl. There was some question, depending upon the crowd here, could the Las Vegas Bowl in general be in trouble? Talking some decertification by the NCAA. They weren't drawing enough people, not enough interest. Hopefully that is not the case. The folks here in Las Vegas and at the Las Vegas Bowl have put on a fine week and have taken good care and shown an awful lot of hospitality to certainly Arkansas and the ESPN2 crew as well. And looks like the paid attendance there, calling it some 29,000. Might be the best crowd in Las Vegas Bowl history, this being the 9th year. That was 17,000 a year ago. Chitani to punt it away. And it's a high punt. They'll let it bounce, and everything is going UNLV's way. And he's down at the 1-yard line. Ray Chitani's had a tremendous game and really a tremendous career. Last year, the 4th leading punter in the nation, an average of better than 45 yards. This year dropped off slightly to a 41-yard average, ranked 30th in the nation. The NFL Scouting Incorporated, they had him ranked in the spring as the top punter in the nation.
And Toby Smeltzer is the guy that downs that ball, number 23. Smeltzer also happens to be the holder on kicks. So he's had a pretty full day for himself on special teams.
With a little message to the national television audience. 2:38 to go here in the fourth.
You know, when I read his list, he said, Steve, what do you think of Lemieux coming back? Did you see that?
No, I don't know. You didn't? I don't think that's what he said. Arkansas, here's Hampton out of the end zone. An incomplete pass. Richard Smith was his intended receiver. Boy, the Mountain West Conference, they have to feel awful good about this showing. Taking on, we're talking about the big boy conference, the SEC, 9 teams going. And here it is, the Mountain West getting 3 teams in a bowl game. Of course, the league champ, Colorado State, and then Air Force also being involved in the bowl picture.
Colorado State is becoming a power in the Mountain West. That's back-to-back Liberty Bowl bids they have. As you see Nate Turner, who had a just spectacular first half. Faced a lot of double teams in the second half, and they went another direction. That direction was on the ground.
Here's 2nd down and 10 from the 1. Hampton to put it up again. They're moving pocket and firing sideline. Boo Williams, they'll say it is a completion. Kevin Thomas on the coverage, working the sideline.
One thing we didn't mention with regards to Boo Williams, which I should have mentioned earlier, in addition to his size and ability to use his body, the man has some excellent hands. So you can see right there, he grabs it, only needs the 1 foot down,
wow,
and he gets
nice.
it. There's that left foot down. And what, Steve, excuse me, I'm just thinking, they mentioned the fact that he runs the 40 in 4.59. I've never considered that slow. I mean, I don't think that's slow at all. But when you have a big body like that, the pros are salivating now, trying to get guys like that can get downfield and throw the jump balls.
Here's your 3rd and 1. They've gone for it on 4th down the last 2 times. I think they'll go for it again. The pass is complete. Should be good for the 1st down of Boo Williams. There's a flag on the play. We've been talking so much about John Robinson, and coming in before talking to him, you thought, maybe this is beneath him. UNLV, not a powerhouse program, out of USC, all the success with the Rams, but, anything but that. He said he's had as good a time now as he has had in his life. What a compliment that is.
Well, I think one of the things you could tell is in Heather's story at the beginning of the game, when she points out that there he was on the field, a guest of Norv Turner. He starts in the stands, starts to get itchy, starts to move down, and before you know it, he's out there telling people what to do. He really misses that element. He misses being around the young athletes and influencing them positively.
He's got 2 more years left on his current contract. There was talk today about a potential for a 5-year contract extension that's apparently in the works. Here's Hampton to throw. Across the middle. Had 2 receivers in the area, Richard Smith and Boo Williams, and could not connect with either, and again a flag on the field. With 2:05 to play in the 4th.
Illegal man downfield. One of the things that happens, too, is that if you're not used to this formation, which Arkansas is not, that being the 4 and 5 wide receiver situation. Maybe the formation, people are lined up off, and then they take off too soon. And of course, Houston, that's not very happy with that call.
Nutt, the native of Little Rock.
You know what? We should say something though with regards to Arkansas and Houston. That we documented the number of injuries that they had. Also the fact, Steve, that off of last year's team, they lost 23 seniors. I mean, to bounce back from that, including all the injuries, their depth was already questionable. To get the bowl game, I think it's quite an accomplishment.
There's Hampton under pressure, taken down as he releases. And a flag comes down. Adrian Watson put the pressure on him. And there you see some of the Arkansas faces on their sideline. Hey, the brutal injuries, Todd. They had what was ranked as the 12th toughest schedule in the nation. That's just playing in the SEC, though. 6 SEC teams were considered having among the top 25 toughest schedules in the country.
You saw the official pick up the flag, and the reason was that he was outside of the box. He was able to throw it away, and that's why the official picked it up, even though there was no receiver in the vicinity.
Bring up a 2nd 25. You mentioned Mario Lemieux. NHL tonight is coming up as soon as we are through with college football at the bottom of the hour here on ESPN.
Did I ask you this before? If Mario Lemieux plays poorly, can he trade himself?
A good question. They call that a completion. Richard Smith, his knee went down rather quickly.
Now, on the flip side, if he plays extremely well, can he give himself a raise?
He can pretty much do anything he wants, I would think.
You know he could do that one.
They'll discuss that and more, I'm sure, on NHL tonight.
I'm anxious to see it. I really am. I'm anxious to see him on skates again.
And you'll see it on ESPN, too. The first game coming up next Wednesday. We've added the game, National Hockey Night. The Penguins will host the Maple Leafs. Ironic, he's choosing to come back at the beginning of a 4-game homestand.
Yeah, what a surprise.
What a surprise for the owner. Trying to fill up the old igloo. With 4 receivers now in the pattern on 3rd down and 25. Here's Hampton. under pressure, takes a hit as he fires, and it's incomplete. Briggs put a shoulder pad into his stomach. Hey, this will be a nice change for UNLV. They certainly could use some good news concerning their athletic department with what took place last week in the basketball program and the dismissal of Coach Bill Bano, allegations from the NCAA, and here a real positive twist for the football side of things. You know, the basketball program has been successful over the years at UNLV, and now the football program really getting it going under the leadership of John Robinson. Butler to punt it away. He's been one of the few stars, really, for Arkansas.
Just about to say that. One of the bright spots, 47 a punt.
From the 5, gets it away. Got a pretty good one. Troy Mason is back for it to the 45. And a return of 3 yards, and UNLV will take over with a minute to play. Something about punters when we show up in town.
All year long. All year long.
We've had, I'd say, the most penalties out of punters than any broadcast team, and great booming punting throughout the college football season. As this is just the second bowl of 25 in Division I, and I can't wait for the start of bowl week, and we look forward to bringing it to you first on Sunday night from Hawaii.
Couch potato heaven the next couple of weeks.
Great. 9 bowls in some 7 days.
Great matchups.
Chris Hayward has checked in for UNLV at quarterback. And he's got a fresh backfield with George Gordon in front of Jabari Johnson. And Johnson is the ball carrier. We'll get some experience. The junior from Tempe, Arizona, Orlando Green made the stop.
He is the heir apparent to the tailback, but with that experience, he needs to stay in bounds. You can see John Robinson's reaction there. Come on, stay in bounds. It's going to run the clock out.
55 seconds left here in the fourth. And, you know, you want to say, hey, they'll be partying on the Strip in Las Vegas tonight, but, you know,
that's redundant.
Win, lose, even if there's no football game, they're partying on the Strip every single night in Las Vegas. So, but it will be an extra special night, certainly in this area, for the football team, and a serious thumping on Arkansas out of the SEC. Johnson, the ball carrier again. Caleb Miller made the stop for Arkansas. 49 seconds left. UNLV, 24 unanswered points. They put up 31 in all, 475 yards of offense. Really effective through the air in the first half, especially effective on the ground in the second half.
And that man, of course, you remember Elvis was king of Vegas, but sort of for one night, Robinson's the king. For one night.
Final half minute to play, and they give it to the fullback, George Gordon, the local product, the junior out of Las Vegas. And here come the fans for UNLV. They're a perfect 3-0 in bowl games all time now. A win in the California Bowl in '84 and right here in the Las Vegas Bowl in '94. John Robinson and the Rebels, a supreme effort here tonight. They remain perfect on their home field, and they will finish with a 4-game winning streak to end this season, their first since 1984. And you get the sense more good things are coming John Robinson and UNLV's way.
And certainly with a victory tonight, and seeing the players out there, the recruiting has got to pick up. There's nothing like winning to fix everything. John Robinson conceded that point to us yesterday. Got a good thing going here in the desert.
You feel for Arkansas. They played so well down the stretch, winning 2 games they had to win against top 25 foes. First ending 13th ranked Mississippi State 16-game home winning streak, and then beating number 24 LSU. Let's go down to the field. Here's Heather Cox.
Coach Robinson, congratulations on the huge win. You said you got back into college coaching because of the fun things in coaching, like mentoring these players. Is this what it's all about?
Well, I think particularly for the greatest joy I have is being around our players. Being around our players and seeing what they have done. They have done some great things here. And it's energized the student body like never before. So all that's good.
And have you introduced the nation today to Jason Thomas? Have you introduced the nation today to Jason Thomas?
Did I? Yeah, I think so. I think he's a great football player.
A lot of celebrating going on. The fans have never seen anything like it in the history of UNLV football.
Yeah, and you know, it still comes down to the kids playing the game. And we had some wonderful kids, and it was our night, but it's the kids and how much they've grown that I'm really proud of.
Coach, were you able to make a statement today about West Coast football against an SEC power?
None of that is important. It's just this game, this night, playing here.
Congratulations on an excellent performance. John Robinson now 8-1 in bowl games.
And we certainly appreciate the coach protecting our sideline reporter. Heather nearly taken out by a goalpost. Here in Las Vegas at UNLV, their whole theme all year has been round 2 with all the boxing motif here in Las Vegas, this being the second year by John Robinson. And boy, you think about the team he took over as the 8th head coach. They were 0-11 when he took over.
Not too many goalposts went down in that era, but they did tonight. It's got to be tremendously exciting. As he pointed out, he gave credit where credit is due to the young people and igniting the excitement on the campus there at UNLV.
UNLV wins the 9th annual Las Vegas Bowl. For Todd Christensen and Heather Cox, this is Steve Levy. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. A winner here in Las Vegas. Let's go back to the studio and Chris Fowler.